A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars Defiance, Episode 3, Leviathan. The intrepid commandos of Defiance flee Leviathan Station with Imperial engineer Lira Wessex in captivity. With the Emperor's servants on their heels, Defiance makes for the rebel rendezvous in a stolen shuttle. Time runs short for the rebellion in retreat. A looming shadow threatens to engulf what little hope remains as Project Leviathan nears completion. A desperate last-chance mission comes together, with Defiance spearheading an assault on an Imperial shipyard. We pan down. We see a blank, empty starfield. Suddenly, an Imperial shuttle flies overhead, obstructing our view. Its engines glow blue. Inside, Imperial death troopers sit, waiting, buckled into their crash seats. We pan down the line of these death troopers in their pristine black armor. The lights, red, inside the ready room, reflecting off of this obsidian-like substance. We find, at the end of the row, a death trooper with her helmet off. She holds in her hands a hollow projector. One of her eyes, horribly scarred, is replaced with a cybernetic enhancement. She holds the hollow vid up and presses a button. A figure appears. He's wearing stormtrooper armor, but his helmet is off. He speaks. Ilara, I wanted to send you this message before I get assigned my next position. I have a feeling we're not going to hear from each other for a long time. I heard you got accepted into the Special Forces. I always knew you would. Mom and Dad would be proud. Alara, I don't know how much I can tell you, but I've been assigned somewhere. They call it the Death Star. I'm going to be serving aboard. It's an honor and a privilege to protect the Emperor's greatest weapon. You may not hear from me for a while, but I'm sure we'll both have lots of stories to tell next time we see each other. Love you, sis. Elon out. The holovid fades. Her hand, gauntleted, closes around the holovid projector, her cybernetic eye flickering. Suddenly, an Imperial officer steps into the ready room in his drab green uniform. The death troopers immediately stand at attention. At ease, he says. He strolls down the line and stops in front of their commander. Lieutenant Colonel Cage? She nods. Commander? You have a new assignment. We're en route now to the circlet. You are to commandeer the forces there and lead the defenses. The rebels have Lira Wessex, and it won't be long before she divulges the info they so desperately seek. I imagine the rebels will be instigating an attack on the circlet. It's up to you to defend her. She nods. Are you sure you're ready? He indicates the cybernetic eye. It flickers. I have never been more ready, Commander. As she puts the helmet over her head, the camera zooms in on the mirrored black lenses. And then we pan out again, and the lenses have been replaced with a stormtrooper helmet. As we zoom out further, we see it's one of the stormtrooper helmets dangling off the belt of our Wookiee. The four of you are sitting in the ready room aboard the Venator-class Star Destroyer, the Slipdagger, a ship commandeered long ago by the Rebel Alliance. The four of you are alone in this ready room, though it is large enough to hold 30, 40 soldiers. You wait for your next mission. The four of you have a few moments to talk, commiserate, prepare yourselves for whatever comes next. What are you doing as you wait?
Sulla is sharpening a blade, combat knife, one stroke at a time, while looking at Lira Wessex. And as soon as it's sharpened, he kind of flips it around his hand, pulls the E11 blaster rifle that he took from the fallen stormtrooper from that elevator scene, and clamps that knife onto the front of it, fusing mundane, archaic technology with this new kind. He feels like he wants to ask her a question, like why? Or how? How can you be so loyal to something so terrible? Something that has brought devastation to me. But that's too much of a distraction, and his head's got to be focused on the mission.
I think Beskar would like look and watch Sulla particularly to ensure that he doesn't like go a little nuts with like this high-ranking Imperial officer here and the sort of intensity with which he despises these people. Beskar is a little bit more coherent, a little bit more patient, pragmatic maybe, and knows that like this woman is just one of many who like accept that they're doing the good thing, the right thing, even if that's not what he thinks. I mean, he's done it before. He's been a soldier, and so he gets it, even if he doesn't like these people. So he'd just be watching, and probably like lighting a death stick and occasionally like blowing it into her face, some sort of minor form of resistance.
Nexu would be almost like mechanically going over his weapon, taking it apart, cleaning each piece, putting the piece back in there, cleaning more pieces of it, just running his hand over his gun and feeling the etches and scratches that kind of denote all the different adventures and all of the different places that he's been, each of the situations in which he's had to take out his rifle and clear somebody's head through it. In those moments, he would also be thinking about the times where he's taken this particular weapon in the suit that he's wearing and done things that he wished he had never done, and killed people and kidnapped people and just been on the wrong side of what he thinks history will remember him as. And as he looks at this Imperial officer and looks at the way she holds herself high and the disgust that she looks at him and just thinks that that was him once, and wonders if she'll come on the right side of history too, and if the Empire is as powerful as he remembers it to be, if he'll even be in history at all.
Lira is sharpening his vibroblade. He is thinking about the times when this great weapon of his own has sliced through a droid, has sliced through troopers of multiple kinds. All good memories. Not good memories for them, but good memories for him. As he looks across at this Imperial, he just thinks that hopefully she will survive long enough that he can add her head to his belt and continue his trophy hunting days.
And Lira Wessex is definitely worse for wear. It has been several days since she rendezvoused here with the Venator class Star Destroyer known as the Slipdagger. She has bruises on her face. She seems gaunt, tired, dark circles under her eyes. She has a bit of a vacant expression and looks everywhere in the room except for into the eyes of her captors. Some of you might realize that this ship, this Venator-class Star Destroyer, is a ship that she designed once when she served the Old Republic. Now she makes death machines for the Empire. Her eyes roam over the lines of this ship, archaic now, but once the pinnacle of technology. She's likely been interrogated. And you wait to hear what she's given up. After a few moments, the door opens, and your commanding officer, the leader of Defiance, Colonel Eve Octavi, walks in. Her single head tail is wrapped over her shoulder. You see the scarring where one of her head tails was removed. She walks into the room briskly, data pad in her hand, sweeps her gaze over all of you dismissively. If any of you make to stand at attention, she waves. Defiance, we, as always, don't have much time, so I'll be quick. Wessex here was uncooperative. We ended up needing to use a serum of Imperial design to glean anything from her. When she says this, you see Wessex looks at the floor, something like shame in her eyes for having given up any information to the rebel scum. Tavi thumbs a few keys on her data pad and throws a hologram up into the center of the room. It springs to life, and you see a strange-looking structure. It appears to be some sort of moon, though there are pieces of it missing. It seems shattered and broken, and encircling it is a ring. No, not a ring. A structure. The hologram zooms in, and you see that the ring surrounding this moon is itself a space station with turrets and different structures blistering its surface. Tavi allows this sight a few moments to sink in before continuing. This is the Circlet, an early project of Tarkin's. This moon is composed almost entirely out of iron. As you can see, the Imperials have mined it almost down to its roots. The iron in this moon was used to make TIE fighters, Star Destroyers, walkers, everything. Now, it houses the third prototype of Project Leviathan. She looks at Wessex. This is what we know. The Circlet disappears, replaced by a rough, hazy, flickering, static-filled hologram of what looks like a massive Star Destroyer, unlike anything any of you have ever seen. This is Project Leviathan, the Executor-class Star Destroyer. There are already two in existence. The third one is still under construction here at the Circlet. It is imperative that we keep it from operation. According to Wessex, our time is short. I will personally be leading an assault on the Circlet. And Defiance Squad, you will be landing on the Circlet. Now, the turbo laser batteries ringing the Circlet are too many to get fighters through. The four of you will be aboard a U-wing, and, well, we're going to be doing an old-fashioned space jump. She thumbs a few more keys on her data pad, and you see a small triangle indicating the U-wing flying past the ring, and lines leading from the U-wing to the ring. You will be jumping from the U-wing to the surface of the ring. There is minor gravity but we'll be outfitting all of you with rocket packs so you can slow your descent. You'll be flying at lightning speeds. If you slam into the circlet without slowing yourself, it's going to be a real short trip. Once you land on the surface of the ring, we'll need you to disable the turbo laser batteries here and here and drop the deflector shields on the prototype executor. From there, a flight of B-wings will fly in and take out the executor. The hologram fades. She looks at you, Beskar. Are your orders clear?
Clear.
You will be facing heavy resistance aboard the circlet, and there will be fierce fighting in the skies above. This will be a tough battle, and I hope it doesn't faze you when I say that we don't have an exit plan for you as of yet. We're hoping we can secure one by the time the battle is over.
Beskar will nod. He's happy with that. He's signed up for more than one-way mission, and this one seems important.
She nods. We'll try to keep the heavier defenses off of you as much as possible. This battle is not one we intend to win, but we will buy you as much time as we can. The priority here is disabling the executor beyond repair. As many of these things as we can keep out of the fight, the better. I'm being told that the two already in operation, one is commandeered by Darth Vader himself. We hope that he does not make an appearance. Right. Suit up, acquire any additional requisitions with the Master at Arms, be aboard the U-Wing in 30. You've done well so far, Defiance. I'm hoping I can buy you some R&R if all goes well after this mission. Dismissed. And with that, she strides out of the room, taking Wessex with her. The four of you have 30 minutes to make any sort of plans, preparations, strategies, and any additional armament that you require.
Do I want to replace the staccato?
That's a good question. You did leave it on the on Leviathan Station.
I don't think I do. Well,
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to take, like, just a small light blaster. So I'm not just confined to my heavy blaster.
Sounds good.
you know what? I might grab a couple more grenades.
Also
Do they
sounds
have-
good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, frag grenades for sure. You can take a couple of those.
Yeah, so I'll grab 2 more smoke grenades as well.
Cool, you got it.
So this was kind of unclear about what happened last time, but is my probe droid dead?
No, you still have your probe droid for
Okay.
sure. Yeah. And I actually have stats for a probe droid if we need to use them. So
All right, cool.
yeah, I made sure to have those ready. Beskar, Chalura, any additional equipment that you want before you head out here?
Nothing specific. No, I think more explosives are always a good idea. So the more of those that we can get, the better, particularly since we're going to be taking out some defenses and things like that. But I think otherwise, I'm good to go with what I have.
Yeah, there's enough frag grenades in the armory here for you to each take 2.
Sweet.
And if that's it, the 4 of you head down to the hangar aboard the Slipdagger. And this is one of the old Clone Wars era Star Destroyers. And so it has this hangar that opens with these doors from the top. All the ships take off rather than coming out through the bottom like modern Star Destroyers. And so as you drop out of hyperspace, the doors open and the U-Wing that you're aboard takes off. And a along with a whole flight of X-wings and Y-wings, all taking off out of the top of this Star Destroyer. As soon as you exit and sort of the horizon of the Star Destroyer gives way to the black of space, you see the dot that is Circlet. And as you draw closer to it, you can see the ring that you know is not actually a ring, but a space station surrounding this hollowed out moon. Over the comms, you hear the usual chatter of the squadrons checking in. Red 3 standing by. Red 4 standing by. Gold 5 standing by. They sort of go through all of their usual checks. And you know that you have probably mere minutes before you are in the midst of a huge space battle.
Briscoe's checking his gear and like trying to memorize what he had seen of the holograph in his mind, just like memorize as best as possible the distances between each turret and how to get there and what the best way to just like keeping his mind busy, because when he's in a spaceship he can't do anything, like he can't affect the outcome, and that will drive him insane, and so he has to like keep his mind busy.
Yeah, the pilot sort of up in the cockpit leans back and says, "We're 20 out, get ready." And you see the 4 rocket packs hanging from a railing next to the door that you know you need to put on.
I get up and I start grabbing the rocket pack and start strapping myself in. Are we familiar with these at all?
Some of you may have done drops like this before. You've at least been trained in simulators and their use if you've never done it actually before.
I think this is Sulla's second time.
It's literally not your first rodeo.
Yeah, so Nexu straps himself in and just prepares for the worst.
We're going to go see your friends. Give them a big boom, he says to Nexu.
Yeah, pretty sure they're not my friends anymore.
Yeah. And we're all very happy for that, he says. And you think you actually hear sincerity in his voice?
And anyone who doesn't have a helmet that is environment controlled like Nexu, you will have to put on your breather because there's not going to be any air on the surface of the circlet.
Briscoe will get up and sort of check everyone's pack to make sure it's attached properly and like pull on various like tags and things to make sure that it's tight, and check like all their equipment, and then like slap them on the shoulder and go down the line. And then maybe instead of slapping Lira on the shoulder, just like gently pats him on the shoulder instead.
As you get closer, you start to hear the subtle booms of flak sort of exploding outside the U-wing. You know that the turbo lasers are aboard the circlet are likely firing. And through the small windows on the doors of the U-wing, you can see these like silver daggers sort of on the view line, and you know that there are several Star Destroyers around the circlet that are now sort of closing in on this rebel fleet. As you get closer, the rocking beneath your feet gets a little bit more vigorous, and you hear TIE fighters sort of whirling past, and you hear the telltale sort of of their laser blast sort of pinging off the deflector shields of the U-wing. The pilot deftly maneuvers the U-wing around, all of you sort of hanging on to the stabilizers here on the upper railing to keep yourselves from falling over. And then you hear over the comms, 5, 4, 3, 2. The door opens. All 4 of you are pulled out at an insane speed as all of the air is whipped out of the U-wing. You're all in open space, effectively falling towards the circlet. You see it looming in your view, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. There is no sound. There is no wind rushing past your ears. There is only silence and the circlet. rushing up to meet you. As you're flying towards it, a flight of TIE fighters screams past. You barely miss, slamming into their solar panels. I'm going to need an acrobatics check from everybody. Okay, so Beskar and Nexu, both of you masterfully whip yourselves around and initiate the rocket pack thrusters and slow your descent, landing softly on the surface of the circlet. You hear your boots sort of collide with it, and you feel this unsettling sensation as you realize that you are now right side up as the minor gravity generated by the circlet sort of pulls you down. But you feel that you can kind of, it's maybe like 75% normal gravity. You feel like you could probably thrust yourself around pretty easily with this rocket pack. And Nexu, with that force die of 6, I would even say that maybe you're able to maneuver yourself onto maybe a higher point where you're like in a perfect sniping position or something like that. What do you think?
So with my perfect 6, could I potentially mitigate one of the other guys if they're not doing so well?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe like, brace one of their falls.
Yeah, you absolutely could. Let's see. Which one would you like to help? Because they're both in trouble.
Choose wisely.
Let's say Sola, since I could probably die if I tried to help the Wookiee.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you didn't help the Wookiee. The Wookiee's going to kill you. Bad call.
So how do you help Sola mitigate his fall so he lands a little safer?
So I guess like as we're both falling and like I do my rocket pack, maybe I notice that his is not going off, or like maybe he didn't time it correctly. So I kind of navigate myself and maybe collide with us to try to like fix his rocket and try to use mine to like slow our fall. And we both kind of crumble to the ground, not as soft as probably would have if we did it perfectly.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, Sola is clicking on the thing that's supposed to ignite the rockets. You save him, basically, pull him down onto the circlet, and then maybe you flip on the activation switch that turns it on, so now it works. Sola looks at you and says, like I said, we're all very happy to have you here.
Chalura, you slam into the deck of the circlet, initiating your rocket pack a little bit too late, and you are going to take 1 wound. So for every wound that you have -1d to checks. You can use a med pack to try and get rid of wounds, though, if you want. So all 4 of you are here on the circlet, and looking up, you see that the battle is already raging. You can see the slip dagger. In addition to some other rebel vessels, there are a couple of Carillion corvettes. There's a Nebulon B frigate, and there are X-wings and Y-wings winding in and out of everywhere. And you see they're chasing and being chased by TIE fighters and TIE bombers. And you can see in the distance Star Destroyers moving in, flanking the rebel forces and setting up a blockade to stop them from jumping away. Their turbo lasers sort of lance across. There are explosions sort of popping all over the place above you. In the distance of the circlet, you can see the curve of it. It's small enough where the horizon of the circlet is sort of right in front of you, this very severe curve. And you know that you're just a couple clicks out from your first destination, one of the turbo lasers that you need to disable. You also see within the ring, you kind of, from your vantage point, it's not super clear, but you can see this shape, this massive shape, this almost skeletal structure. And you know that is the prototype executor sitting there. almost ready for operation.
Stand off and move. Heads on a swivel. Objective A.
Roger that. What's the plan, boss?
Blow them up.
Scylla pulls out a grenade, looks at the nearest turbo laser. I imagine the turbo laser battery, like the closest one, is like boom, 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 like deep into space already, firing at the fleet. Is there how many turbo lasers are there, or is there like a central location where they're all connected and powered?
So there are dozens of turbo lasers around the sort of axis of the circlet. You are disabling 2 specifically to provide a clear flight path for the B-wings to come in and bomb the Executor.
Understood. So I'll rephrase the question. Is there any way to blow them both up at once?
Likely not.
Okay.
They probably have their own independent guidance systems and powering systems, but they're within a couple clicks of each other.
Cool. If I pull out a frag grenade and I toss it to you, Captain, and then I hold the second one.
Now, these things are like building sized, right? Like a turbo laser is.
Yeah,
really
they're
big.
massive. Yep.
Right. And am I right in thinking that it's probably like, it's sort of like a gatehouse and a castle? There's dudes in there and like.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah?
That's
Okay.
It's sort of like a turbo laser is sort of like it's a defensive structure, but it's also like that's where stormtroopers hang out when they're not out and about. So it's sort of like a garrison situation as well. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So then, I guess Beskar would know the best way to like take one of these things out, but I imagine we have to get in there and like overload something, or I don't think we're going to be able to do it from the outside because like if a spaceship can't shoot them with their super lasers, then we're not going to be able to shoot them with our blasters. So we have to get inside, right, and blow something up, or
Yeah, they have their own deflector shields and they're heavily plated from the outside. So your blaster bolts would just sort of ping off of the structure itself. But you know that there's sort of like a catwalk that rings around the outside, likely patrolled by stormtroopers. But you have the advantage of being both in low gravity and being equipped with rocket packs that you can use to get up high if you need to.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so then I'll point to the one that is closest. My temptation is always to split up and do this in 2 teams, but I think that we might face a lot of stormtroopers and we might not make it. So I think then the best thing that we can do is we approach and then myself and Chalura like fly up one side while the other 2, Sulla and Nexu, like run around the other side. And so when they come to respond to us, you guys can get in and blow the thing up. And we'll like just hold them until you've like set the charges, and then we can all jetpack off towards the next one. What do you reckon?
So I wouldn't happen to like just know off the top of my head if there's like, quick repair hatches or anything like that that's common on stations like this, like where maybe like an astromech or like, I don't know, something that like needs to be quickly repaired can just come up from inside, like maybe an in-between layer or something like that.
That is a good question. Maybe give me a technical roll of some kind to see if you know of something like that. You're like, great, my lowest skill. Perfect.
All right, well, I don't know. So I got a 7, but I forgot to use the colored one, so I got a 2 and a 6. So, yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, so you don't know of anything off the top of your head. You imagine that there would be something like that, like access hatches for droids or for probes to get inside of. But you don't know off the top of your head how they access those sorts of things.
Yep. So I just fished the idea to the boss. He has more technical knowledge than I do. Just a thought. But yeah, if you want me to go up top, boss, and be your eyes till we can get in there, I can do that. Close quarters combat is definitely not my thing.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking myself, and Chalura could like fly up, attract a lot of attention, and then just like hunker down and hopefully not die, or maybe it's even myself, Chalura, and Sulla, and then you can sort of quietly and quickly next to you, like fly in the back, kill whatever like dweeby officers are sitting at the desks, and then like plant the explosives, and then we can all jump off with the jetpacks before it explodes.
So are these things where like if we destroy like the control booth or whatever, the things will stop firing? Yeah,
I assume so. Yeah.
Yeah, or if you just take out the guys shooting the guns too. Assuming they would probably put more people on them, but yeah.
So do they have enough like a turning reach that they could just shoot each other?
Potentially. I imagine that with the that is a really cool idea. I imagine with the curvature of it, it would be difficult, but you could probably turn the turbo laser on like the Star Destroyers or TIE Fighters or whatever you want. I don't know that you'd be able to get a bead on the other turbo laser, potentially.
Gotcha. So maybe we could destroy this turbo laser, then use the other one to maybe thin the ranks?
I mean, we can see what the maximum sort of angle is, but if we can even just like shoot straight down or, like, and destroy anything around it is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do a Luke and Return of the Jedi, point it at the deck, and just shoot the shit out of the circlet. Yeah.
And that would be what, like a mechanical roll?
Like if you wanted to commandeer it and shoot it, it would probably be gunnery.
Yeah. So
because it's basically like a big giant gun.
It's definitely not my skill set, but
yeah, Beskar's good at it. But I think if we can bring them all to one side, you can at least go in and kill the gunners so they're not firing, and then we can see afterwards if it's possible to like commandeer the gun.
But all right, cool. So I will try to get myself into a position to not be seen while you guys make a disturbance.
Perfect. Yeah, the whole surface of this thing is very like Imperial looking, for lack of a better phrase. It's just like blistered and like it has all these like weird formations and structures on it, all of which serve some sort of purpose in the function of this thing. Gravity generators, atmosphere generators, whatever they are, deflector shields. But it's just like there's lots of sort of cover here. It's probably not a structure that they anticipate having many people get on board because they have such stringent defenses sort of on the actual structure itself. So plenty of cover for you to utilize there, Nexu. So the four of you head towards this first turbo laser using the data that you received from your commanding officer. And Beskar, you would likely have on your data pad, you would likely have that same hologram that she showed you. It's not 100% accurate or complete, but it at least gives you a good idea of how far apart the turbo lasers are and where the executor itself is housed. So you move through these sort of strange steel formations, and soon on the horizon of the circlet, you see this towering turbo laser, and it's swiveling around. And every time a ship flies past, it sort of takes these shots. You see the turbo laser shots themselves sort of exploding into this like blaster flak, for lack of a better phrase, just going off into the void of space. A couple of times you see an X-Wing fly past and just get decimated by these turbo laser shots. So you can see as you approach that there is indeed a catwalk that sort of circles around the outside of it. And you see the distinct white plasteel armor of stormtroopers patrolling this catwalk. And they're sort of looking up, watching the battle, holding their blasters comfortably. The last thing they're expecting probably is having rebel commandos attack them.
Could we? You have a vibroblade, Chalua, right?
Yes.
Could you and I fly under the catwalk and cut it and send the stormtroopers plummeting to their doom? Do you think?
Yes.
It might be a good idea. I don't know. It'll save us a lot of fighting, and it, like, even if it's low gravity, they're just going to float away into space, which is worse for them, I guess.
They'd also probably think that, like, other stormtroopers and other batteries would probably think the shot came from space. Like, that's kind of perfect.
Yeah. So then I guess it's becoming quite convoluted, but I feel like it's worth it. bear with me. So I think if we
The
can
best
get,
kinds of plans are convoluted.
yeah, if we can get you, Sulla, to like fly up there in a sort of like Scarface-esque sort of like, and they all like rush to this side of the thing to like shoot at you, and me and Chalura are in position, then we can just like wham, slice through the catwalk, and then they can all fall down. It might get you killed, but I don't know.
The blaster's ready in his arms. He's got no problem with that.
All right.
Okay, so going over the plan. So Sulla, you are going to fire on these stormtroopers and draw attention while Beskar and Chalura approach from the bottom and try to take out the catwalk beneath them. And Nexu, you're going to try and hide and then sneak into the emplacement itself. Is that correct? Okay, cool. So I'd say let's go ahead and roll for initiative. Sulla, it sounds like you're going to be the one kicking this off, so you can automatically just go first in initiative.
I will do that.
Cool. So again, initiative, just roll perception and let me know what you get. And while this is happening, I saw a couple questions in the chat about what system we're using. So technically, we're using West End Games Star Wars D6, but it is a hack of my own creation called Hyperspace D6, which is like a super simplified, streamlined version of the game. I am planning on making it available at some point soon. This is technically the first playtest of it, and we really haven't gotten into the nitty-gritty of it yet. So, but yeah, eventually I'll make it available for people under Creative Commons, and you can use it however you want. So, all right, initiative 12, 6, 9. Okay, cool. Oh, I guess I should roll initiative for the stormtroopers, huh? Okay. So it's going to go Sulla. Oh, I hate that you can't. Hang on 1 second. I'll write it elsewhere and then post it in the chat. Here we go. Open up. Okay, so Sulla's kicking it off, and then it'll be Beskar, troopers, Nexu, Chalura. Perfect. Okay, here we go. Oh, Lloyd's got it. Beautiful. Okay, so Sulla. So I'm going to say that you guys are. Well, how close do you guys want to get within short range of these troopers before you enact this plan? With the jetpacks, you can technically move 2 range bands, so you could kick this off at long range and still get to them in 1 move.
So in my head, I have it that we're going to move like right to the base of this turbo laser, and they're probably not looking down.
Yeah, right.
So we can kind of like, with the odd like booster, if the gravity's low, boost our way, climb our way up and get into position. And then when we're in position, that's when Sulla can start shooting. If that makes sense.
Perfect. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay, cool. So you guys are able to do that. You move up to the base of this turret. It's and you manage to climb / boost yourself up right beneath this catwalk. As you get under there, you hear the troopers. They're kind of standing there watching the battle. One of them goes, "Think this is some sort of drill?" No, this seems real. They're sort of just standing there watching the battle. Sulla, you want to kick us off here?
Yeah, first A+ stormtrooper chatter. Like,
thank you.
So good.
my favorite stormtrooper chatter ever is in A New Hope when Ben is turning the shields off or the tractor beam off, and those guys are sitting there like, "Have you seen the new?" They're like talking about some like blaster or something. It's just so funny.
I like how this worked. Tapping the ear, like to fake, like, you know.
Yeah.
I love stormtroopers. They're such fodder. Okay, so
that Imperial officer though, when Luke was like tapping on his helmet, that Imperial officer was like, "Oh, something to do." He was like so excited that something was happening. He was like, "I'm gonna go check it out."
I get to show my ranks off.
Yeah, exactly.
Do something.
All right, so you're shooting some stormtroopers.
Yep. Actually, I'm gonna kind of back off from the catwalk, like push myself off, hit the jet to move up above it, and I'm kind of hovering there for a second, and I'm behind them on the opposite side of where everyone else is, because I want to bring the stormtroopers to me at first, and surprise them, and then have everything's a surprise. And
Okay.
and he'll hold out his blaster and say, "Hey, Imperial scum!" or "Hey, Imperial scum!" through the breather. And once they look, he's just gonna fire at the nearest one.
Beautiful. Go for it. So you're just using a regular blaster rifle, right?
I am. Did I have to tell you how many actions I wanted to do?
Yes, you do. So so moving is always free unless you want to move more than one range band. So you can always move one range band for free, which I assume, just pushing off and, kicking into the air, that's totally free action. So if you want to attack and do something else or attack twice, that would be multiple actions. So basically just tell me how many actions you want to take.
Cool. I imagine there's more than 2 stormtroopers here. That's why we're cutting the catwalk instead of just silently taking them out.
Yeah. There's sort of 2 right above where you were, but there's multiple sort of like roaming around the catwalks.
All right. Well, I'm going to wreck those 2. So I'm going to take 2 actions.
2 actions. Okay, cool. So your both shots will be -1d.
Got it. Okay.
And stormtroopers have a dodge of 6. So you're looking for 6 or better.
Okay. So I have 4 total dice. I need 1 for the... Okay, purple will be the force die. All right. I'm sorry. What or better?
What's that?
What or better?
6.
Sorry.
6 or better.
All right, cool. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Imperial scum. Oh, sick. 5, 6, 7, 8. Total of 14.
14 definitely hits on that first shot. Go ahead and roll damage and let me know what you get.
Sweet. 4, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13.
13 is enough to exceed the stormtrooper's soak and stun him.
Hits him right in the shoulder. He kind of falls backwards a little bit, maybe lightly.
And I'm using the new minion rules for the stormtroopers, so effectively they're one character altogether. And so because you stun one of them, technically all of them are stunned. So I imagine that this is you basically just firing wildly with the E11, and they're sort of like taking cover and like shots are glancing off their armor. And so all of them are stunned. Okay, second shot.
Yeah, okay. Oh, second shot doesn't go to anyone else. I land on the catwalk near a stormtrooper, and I shove the bayonet through the plasteel armor into his body.
Awesome. Yep. So that's going to be a melee check.
Okay.
Yeah. So now when you do all of your actions on your turn, because I hate the like keeping track of who's done what actions. So you can still do the multiple actions and you get the penalty, but it all happens on your turn.
14 with a 6 on the force die.
Their parry is only 6, so yep.
Sweet. And then
and a 6 on the force die.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Damage is 15.
Damn. Yep. That takes one of them out.
I lift him up off the catwalk like I'm Euron Greyjoy killing the sand snakes.
Yeah, he does the like as you kind of go through the plasteel armor, and the gravity is low enough where you're just able to sort of pick him up and like throw him off of the catwalk, and he sort of falls in slow motion down to the surface of the circlet and bounces off of it, floats up, and then finally lands. His blood sort of floating in the air as he does so.
And I say, I've got a good feeling about this.
All right, so Beskar, you are up. So you just saw Sulla wreck shop. All the stormtroopers on the catwalk are sort of diving for cover, and one of them is definitely dead.
All right. So I'll sort of do like a 3, 2, 1 count with Chalura, and then I'm going to, with both hands, use my vibroblade to slash through the supports on my side. Okay,
cool. So go ahead and give me a, I guess we'll make that a melee check to see if you can cut through effectively.
Okay. Oh my. It's a 6 on the force die.
Damn.
So it's going to be 12, 17, 19, 20.
Shit. Yeah, you absolutely do it. What do you want to do with that 6 on the force die? Something extra.
What if Sulla spots that there's a central support that we hadn't accounted for, like a third thing that's holding it in place, and it's not going to fall. But he like spots it and calls out, and I like know that it's there and like mess with it.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Yeah, you hack through, and the catwalk sort of does the sort of one side sort of goes down, and one of the troopers goes sliding off of it. He's sort of like scrabbling at the plating, trying to keep himself, and you see him tumble off of it and slam down to the deck below. All right. Troopers. Okay, so there's 4 stormtroopers left alive. There's one standing next to you, Sulla. He's going to sort of level his blaster at you at the hip and fire. What's your dodge?
9D. Did I do that right? Or is it just 9?
Dodge is just 9, yeah.
Okay. I want to roll 9 dice, actually.
I just hit your dodge. I just rolled 9 on 3D of the blasters. So let me roll some damage. They have blaster rifles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 2, 5, 6, 10, 13, 15. What's your soak?
My soak is 7.
7? Okay, so... Okay, what's your stamina then?
Stamina is 2D.
Okay. Yep. So that means
All
you
the
take...
plot armor was saved for the Skywalkers and the Solos.
Yeah.
These stormtroopers can hit.
So that's going to be a stun plus 2 wounds.
Ooh. And I get minus 1D per wound, right?
Per wound, yeah.
On every roll.
Yep. So this stormtrooper levels the blaster and takes some shots, and a couple of them find their mark. You feel this burning where the wound is already cauterized.
Might be a cool spot for some conditions on this character sheet, by the way.
Yes.
Like for me to put stunned.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we don't have a spot for stunned.
Okay. So, sorry, can I just ask? I did this wrong, I think, because I think when you're figuring out dodge, it's just 3 times your acrobatics as opposed to 3 times your acrobatics dice pool. So, like, if I have 1 acrobatics, my dodge would be 3, not 15 if I have 4 dexterity.
It would be 15 because your dodge,
right.
Your acrobatics total is all of that. So yeah, your dodge total would be 15.
Okay. I feel much safer. I was like, oh God, I'm going to get so ruined.
Yeah. When calculating those static defenses, take into account both the attribute and the skill. Yeah. Okay. I'll make that clear in the playtest as well. Okay, so that was one trooper. The other one, I don't think any of them really have a bead on any of you guys. And so they're all going to sort of like take cover, getting themselves into defensive positions for later. Okay, Nexu, you're up.
All right. So I just want to make sure that I'm seeing things the way it's supposed to be seen. So are all the stormtroopers like they're still kind of huddled in front of the door?
Yeah, they're all kind of like on the catwalks. 2 of them are dead. One of them got knifed by Sulla, and another one fell off the catwalk after Beskar chopped it. So you see that there's 4 left on the catwalk.
Okay. Is there a way that I can just take my turn after Chalura since he's gonna chop off the last thing?
Yeah, you can just hold your action if you want.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna hold my action, waiting for the rest of these guys to get chopped down so I can make my way inside.
Perfect. All right, Chalura, you're up.
Sweet, let's cut this thing off.
Give me a melee check.
All right. Sweet. Oh, I'm wounded. Oh, actually, so that's gonna be less. That is. So when I say my force dice, do I say the first ever rolled or the second?
On the force dice?
Yeah.
Well, if you roll a 6, then you just tell me if you roll a 1 or a 6. Otherwise, it doesn't matter.
Okay, then it's I got 13 with a force die 6.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's definitely enough to hit. Plus, you get an additional benefit. So you're able to chop through that other pylon on the catwalk and drop it, basically. The whole thing comes tumbling down. And you both are sort of like kick off the wall with your thrusters as the catwalk falls, and you see all the stormtroopers sort of fall in slow motion down to the deck of the circlet.
Sweet.
Well done. Okay, Nexu, you are up. You see the catwalk drop.
Yeah, so I imagine that like while everybody is shooting, I'm kind of like on the like maybe above everybody. So as soon as these guys fall down, I just kind of, do like a flip and position myself inside the doorway. So once I'm inside, is it just like all the stormtroopers have cleared out? There's just like a control room with nobody shooting in here?
Yeah, you once you get in, you see there's like a big viewport, this digital viewport that is displaying the battle, and it's like highlighting ships as they pass by. And you see that there's an Imperial officer sort of standing there watching, and there's a Imperial gunner with like this big black helmet, like this swept back thing, and he's in the seat, and he's sort of like swiveling in this seat, and you can hear inside the of the turbo laser firing.
Cool. So yeah, I as soon as I see these two guys, I just think back to probably just a few days ago when me and Beskar opened the door and threw the grenade inside, and I just unclip mine, throw it in there, and close the door behind me.
Beautiful. All right. Yeah, so just roll some damage for that. So it'll be 3D damage for both of these guys.
And you said that we don't use the force die for damage, right?
For damage, correct.
Am I rolling once for both of them, or?
Yeah, once for both.
So 12 for the first guy, and 6 for the other guy.
Okay, that's enough to take them both out. The Imperial officer only has 6. Yep. So you close the door and you hear, and like there's like this intense, like you feel the kinetic pressure sort of coming through the door of the frag grenade going off, and there's a sudden sort of like stop as the turbo laser just stops firing.
Next boss.
Give me a minute. First, you'll see Sola pull 2 med packs out of his backpack or something, and just say, "Let me look at my character sheet, but I am pretty sure I'm okay technical. Who's more experienced than me?"
I got you, son. I'll go over and apply the necessary patches and whatnot. And I would tell Nexu to get into that turbo laser room and see if it's still able to fire, and if you can get it to move. It's worth trying. And I have to do a technical to heal you?
Yep. Yeah, there is a medicine skill. I don't know if you took any points in that.
I did not.
Okay, yeah, so just roll technical.
Okay.
It's a TN10 to remove a wound with a med pack.
You should be fine. Oh, yeah. Yep, like 15.
Okay, and then did you want to use 2 med packs, Sola? Okay, cool. So give me a second check there, Lloyd.
13.
Okay, yeah. So both wounds healed.
Chalor will use one too, might as well, but on himself.
Okay, give me a roll.
With this, I still take one die down
for the wound. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So that's 2D. Wonderful. No. Okay. I got a 7 with a force die 1.
Beskar, you see Chalura kind of struggling with his med pack.
Yeah, so he'll like finish like wrapping the bandage around Sola's arm and like pull it tight, and then like see Chalura like trying to figure it out, and like shake his head, and like there's no sound or whatever because we're still in space, and he'll just kind of like shake his head and like knock on the breathing mask because he'd see that Chalura is getting really worked up about it, and like ask him for the pack, and he'll apply them for him. So exactly 10 that time.
Okay, your wound is healed, Chalura. As the four of you are sort of bandaging your wounds, checking out this turbo laser battery, you see above you 3 more Star Destroyers jump into the system and join the battle, locking into defensive formation. You see they concentrate their turbo laser fire on one of the Carillion corvettes. You see its shields go down, and a couple turbo laser bolts fly through the hull of this thing, and it begins sort of like going down. There's smoke and fire sort of coming out of it.
Next, you report in that room.
I try to report on the room.
So you come in, you see the bodies of the Imperial officer and the gunner thrown against the walls. It seems like the frag grenade did a little bit of damage, but most of the damage was them being slammed against these bulkheads by the kinetic force of the grenade going off in this small space. You do see that there was quite a bit of damage sustained to the actual system. The screen is sort of flickering and cracked. You're not sure what it would take to get the thing to work, but it's definitely not immediately usable.
Cool. Needs work. Probably not what we need.
All right, let's move.
Captain, I have an idea. He looks up to the turbo laser, says, "You go to the next one. I try to fix this one and help the allies."
I guess he would know how good you are with fixing things. Is this something that's in your wheelhouse?
I'm guessing, would this be vehicles?
It would probably be armament more so than anything.
I'm good at armament.
Okay. Yep. So knowing that, he'll nod. All right. Don't tarry too long. Let's go.
Yeah. So as we're moving, Nexu is going to ask, all right, so is this the same tactic? Because now we're one man short.
I think Beskar's gut would tell him that very likely those stormtroopers went, "Oh God, they cut the cap," like before they hit the ground over the comms, and so probably can't use the same thing again.
So what I can do, Cap, is I can draw fire from on this side and make sure that Sola doesn't get himself killed, while you guys sneak over and take out the people on the inside without destroying everything like I did.
It's worth a shot. With me, big guy.
Right. So yeah, while they're going over, then I'm just gonna position my sniper rifle, pull out the stock, aim the scope, and try to get a bead on. I'm assuming that there's a door probably that opens that looks directly at this door. And yeah, just prepare so that when they're in position, I can just start taking shots.
Perfect. Okay, great. So Sully, you're going to stay behind, try and get this turbo laser situated. Next to you're finding a nice perch to snipe from. And Chalura and Beskar, you're heading to the next turbo laser battery.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. I think we'll actually go ahead and take a quick break before we go to the next turbo lasers. So we'll be right back. Please stick around. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll be right back. All right. Okay.
It's really good.
Oh, thanks, man. Like that was a pretty basic combat, but I could already feel that it was like going a lot faster.
Yep.
I thought of a couple things though.
I think
Man, it's
taking
like-
all your actions at once makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
Like,
that's-
unless you're doing like a shadow run where you roll an initiative number and then you get to go again if you still have initiative, I think it's crazy to spread it out a lot, you know?
Yeah. It's like pretty potentially lethal too. Like I almost killed Sulla outright, so I might need to I might need to fiddle with the numbers a little bit in terms of like soak and stuff, because if I had rolled a little bit higher on my damage, Sulla would have like just been dead outright. So
Yep. I like especially took all of those skills so I'd have better defenses, and I wouldn't have taken them otherwise.
Right.
You know, but it's like it actually makes a huge difference because you're multiplying. Makes a massive difference. So every one that you can get is a big deal.
Yeah, it adds 3 for every one that you have. Yeah.
Like I took acrobatics despite me not wanting to have acrobatics because I knew that dodge was going to be so important.
So important. Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking about renaming acrobatics to something like agility, because like it's not technically just acrobatics. It's just literally like how good you are at like dodging and moving and stuff. So I feel like agility fits the bill a little bit better.
I mean, have you thought about just having it be the melee skill? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Or blast or melee, or using one of those as like the
It's blasters. It makes blasters like the best stat in the game, I think, you know, because then if you get it for shooting and for dodging.
Yeah, that was the one issue I saw with it, because I had considered that, like having, you know, you're good at shooting blasters, but also avoiding blasters. But then it was like, man, if you're good at blasters, you're good at everything. Yeah. Like it becomes the dexterity of the game where you're like, yeah, I want that maxed out.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think it's good because it's good that it's difficult to get really good defensive stats. I think it makes you think and pick sort of more specifically, and you know.
Totally. Yep. Yeah, acrobatics to agility. Look at soak numbers.
Yeah, it gives you more soak.
What's that?
I would say that maybe armor could give you more soak in terms of how much it gives you. Like
right.
Or actually, but like does the soak, because it says 3 times stamina plus armor. So I did 3 times my stamina and then added my armor soak. But it's not like 3 times your stamina plus your armor soak multiplied, right?
Correct. Yeah, you wouldn't multiply the armor. The soak is added on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so potentially I could just have armor be a little bit more beneficial, because right now, like light armor just gives you +1 soak, which is not awesome. Yeah. So maybe just upping those numbers a little bit.
Yeah. Or even something to do with like wounds, like armor ignores a wound once or something. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't want to get tricky with it, but yeah.
Yeah. Soak on armor. Yeah, I think I definitely need to fiddle with the numbers a little bit, but I'm pretty happy with the way everything's for the most part holding together. So super easy to run the stormtroopers as a minion group too. It was like so much easier than having like Stormtrooper 1, Stormtrooper 2, Stormtrooper 3. Okay. All right, everybody back? Looks like it. Awesome. Sulla, you're staying behind. You're going to try and fix or at least get this turbo laser into working order. So from you, I will need an armament check. Sulla, you're keeping an eye out for enemies with your sniper rifle. And Beskar and Chalura, as you sort of walk across the circlet towards this other turbo laser, I'm going to need acrobatics checks from both of you, please. Oh, yeah. I always get dislikes on my videos. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, you are.
Who it is. I mean, yeah, I know.
I have one auto dislike on every video I've made for like 4 years.
Yeah, I get 2 always. Even on like if I schedule a live stream, I get 2 dislikes right away.
It's probably for hanging out with Matt, Lloyd.
It's a bot. It has to be, right? Because it's like it's every video before it even goes live. I have 1 dislike. Yeah,
it's either a bot or somebody who is very dedicated.
So angry. Yeah.
I'm just like, keep disliking. Your anger feeds my views. Okay, so as the 2 of you are moving across the circlet, a wing of TIE fighters flies by and strafes the surface of the circlet, aiming directly at you. Looks like Chalura, you're going to take a wound as you dive for cover, but not quite quick enough. And you feel the heat of these blaster bolts at your back, singeing your fur. I know you just healed that wound, but you're back in Wound Town. All right. Sola, how's that armament check going? What'd you get?
Let me make it, actually.
Let's do it.
Sweet. All right, 4. That'll be the die. 5, 9, 13, 16, 18 total.
18 total? Nice. Okay. So you are able to well, go ahead and describe to me what it looks like as you're trying to get this turbo laser working. There's like wires hanging, there's sparks coming out, the screen is all flickering.
The screen is even like cracked in some places.
Yeah.
But it looks, it's just a combination of multiple things, retying wires together, hitting multiple buttons, typing in codes, a couple, like, I type in something, beep, 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 beep. I hit it and then it works. And the turbo laser battery just like raises up. And the screens are still busted and still like flickery, so it's not perfect, but it's active, especially right when these TIE fighters come strafing by. If they come for another pass, I think Sola's going to want to have at.
Beautiful. Yeah, you've got it working. It's not perfect, and you notice that the servos kind of stick a little bit when you're like rotating clockwise, but let's try fixing the turbo laser. That's a good trick. But you managed to get it at least like maybe 70% functional. So, so Beskar and Chalura, you're both sort of like undercover as the TIE fighters, and you hear them kind of howling, coming around for another pass at you.
I think the quicker that we move and the quicker that we can get to the turbo laser, they're not going to fire on the turbo laser. So if we get in the shadow of that thing, we probably will be safe from their fire. So Beskar is just going to go for it and try and belt it over in that direction and encourage True the same.
Yeah, you two are able to sort of book it in that direction, maybe even using your rocket packs to get over sort of obstacles, just moving as quickly as possible. As you get nearer the turbo laser, though, you can see that there are stormtroopers sort of waiting for you as you come along one side. And you see that they are disconnecting a piece of the circlet, almost like retracting a bridge, sort of closing off the path from you. And there is now a big gap in between where you are and where you need to get to.
All right, big guy. It's going to be a bit of a jump. Yeah, we're just going to have to go for it, I think. The longer we wait, the further it gets away.
Yeah. Go ahead and both give me acrobatics checks. And Nexu, through your scope, you've got a bead on some of the troopers on the other side of this chasm if you want to take a shot.
Yeah, so are they like pressing a button or using some kind of device to retract the bridge?
You're not actually sure from where they're retracting the bridge. It must be some sort of other installation and the other turbo laser or something. But the troopers are sort of standing there guarding the pass as the bridge is retracting.
Okay. Yeah, I will gladly take a shot at one of these guys.
Okay, go for it.
Looks like they're like ready to shoot or something. That will be the...
Yeah, they're sort of like bringing up their blaster rifles to take shots at Beskar and Chalura. Man, Chalura, the dice are just not with you tonight, man.
That's that wound.
Yep. Makes a huge difference. Okay, yeah, that's definitely going to hit. Go ahead and give me damage there next to. So the Beskar and Chalura, both of you sort of leap, initiating your jump packs as you cross this chasm. Beskar, you do it expertly, landing on the other side and maybe even putting your shoulder into cover as you land. Chalura, though, you barely grasp onto the side of this bridge, holding on with your arms as it's retracting. Jeez, 18 damage. As you are landing, you see one of the troopers, he's sort of bringing his blaster up, and his head just like rocks back, and he falls backwards as a blaster bolt from extreme distance comes in and just takes him out with a well-placed sniper shot. You have Nexu to thank for that. And at the same time, you hear... And Sulla, you see the wing of TIE fighters coming around for another pass to strafe Beskar and Chalura. Would you like to try and shoot the TIEs down?
Absolutely.
All right.
Like spin around, and is this armaments? What is this?
This would be gunnery.
Gunnery.
And
Okay, cool.
As you're moving the turbo laser, it's doing it's spitting out steam out of the pistons as it's moving.
Dope. Oh, all these dice are flying out of my hand. Okay. 6, 10.
It's not like you rolled like 19 dice. It was just like,
I rolled 4. I'm not supposed to roll 19 dice.
what am I going to do with all these dice?
15, 6 on the force die.
Damn. Yeah. Definitely hits. Can I propose something with the force die of 6?
Yeah, I would need you to, actually.
You clip one of the ties with a shot from the turbo laser, and it careens into a second one, and they both go sort of spinning.
Matt, what if I told you that is exactly what I would have chosen?
Beautiful.
We've seen Star Wars a couple times. No,
Just
yeah,
a
I
couple
love
times. Yeah. So.
Collides, and then an explosion as the TIE fighter self-destruct goes off because it's been compromised too badly. They blow up.
They both just a ball of fire. As the other two go up, the third one pulls up out of its strafing run and probably goes off to join another squadron. So Beskar and Chalura, the two of you land, and like clockwork, your two teammates take out the stormtrooper that was leveling a blaster at you and the TIE fighters that were coming in for a strafing run. You feel the heat of that explosion above you, and maybe even some debris sort of clinks against the circlet around you, and the third TIE peels off and heads in the other direction. There is still one trooper on the other side of your cover, Beskar.
Okay. Like quite a distance away, right? He's firing at us as opposed to like the other side of this thing.
Yep.
Okay, so I guess we want to get up on that catwalk if possible, as quick as possible. So I'm gonna prep my blaster and then like fire my pack and try to fly in that direction and try and shoot him as I'm going.
Okay, go for it. Give me a blaster's check.
Uh-oh. I rolled 4 1s on 6 dice. That's not good.
Man.
1, 2, 3, 4. So 12 is what I got.
12. That's good enough. You hit.
Okay. 6 dice. Right? for a blaster. Oh, that's nice. Oh my god. 23.
23 damage.
Yeah, it's 6 dice for a blaster, right?
Yeah, for a blaster rifle. Yep.
23.
Yeah, you essentially cut the stormtrooper in half with this shot. Go ahead and describe as you fly through the air and take him out.
Yeah, so he may be more familiar with this sort of like flying tech than others, being from Mandalore. He like activates it, and as he like begins to like process the direction that he's going, like turns and swivels and gets ready to fire, and then just like very calmly exhales and fires the shot. Look at like through the trooper's eyepiece and out the other side.
He just kind of slumps against the wall and goes down to the catwalk, dead before he hits the ground. Chalura, I'm going to need from you an athletics check to pull yourself up.
Wonderful. All right, is 17 with a foresight 2.
Yeah, you manage to pull yourself up. Maybe even give yourself a little boost with your jetpack, and you come up on the deck behind Beskar. You see him flying up towards the catwalk, taking out a trooper that was there waiting for him. All right, so next you see Beskar and Chalura approaching the turbo laser safely. Scylla, what do you want to do with this turbo laser now that you have it?
Well, I don't want to shoot the other turbo laser with it because that would steal the thunder of this cool squadron that's going to take it out. But I was hoping to either look for another laser or, like I said, help the allies start firing at these Star Destroyers that just came into the area.
Yeah, so and the way that the turbo lasers are positioned, you do see like as you rotate that you don't have like a clear line of sight on the next turbo laser. It's almost like they're positioned like just so where they're like they're not in each other's firing arcs.
These damn Imperial brainiacs.
Yeah, they thought of everything. But you can fire into the battle itself. And so the Star Destroyers are a little bit too far out for you to get a beat on. And you know that their deflector shields would just turn the turbo lasers aside anyway. But you do see like wings of TIEs are just like whizzing past.
Cool. I hear in the comm link, God, they're taking us out. All these fighters are taking us. Like comms are going silent. And anger begins to fill me as I fire deep into this line of TIE fighters that I can see that are maybe, I don't know. I imagine they're swarming around a Republic cruiser, a Rebel cruiser, something like that. 7, 11, 12, 13, 14.
14 hits the TIE fighter, just barely. Go ahead and roll damage. Oh, I didn't tell you what damage
on it now.
So the blaster turret would be, let's see. That would be like a heavy repeater, so 8D basically.
Ooh,
yeah, the way that damage works on things that are bigger, like ships and vehicles and stuff, is you just scale it up. So like, turbo laser would be like a ×2 weapon basically. So even though it only does 8D, if you were shooting at like a person, you would do 8D ×2. Does that make sense?
Yes, it's somewhat similar to how Edge does it, where it's just like
it's the silhouette size or whatever. Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Turns people into pink dust. Okay.
Yep.
6, 7, 12, 14, 16, 21, 24, 30 total.
Damn. Yeah, you sort of spray into this squadron of TIEs, maybe even taking a couple of them out with this sort of flak fire from the turbo lasers. And you see the squadron immediately sort of reconfigure and come back around, trying to figure out what's going on. They're getting fired on from the circlet. And so they're sort of scrambling, trying to figure out what's going on.
Perfect.
All right, so Beskar and Chalura, you two make it onto the catwalk. What would you like to do? You see that the door is closed.
I think that Chalura can probably rip that door open. And so I want him to do that. And I will say over the comms to Sulla, can you charge up a huge shot and not release the energy? It might blow the tower.
I've never done it, but I'll give it a shot.
If someone said something to me, I missed it because I was plugging my headphones in. Okay, cool. Carry on then.
I guess Chalura would go for the door.
You're gonna try and force the door open?
No, just turn the doorknob. No.
Athletics then.
All right. So that would be. I want to use a character point for this so that I can use my full die instead of my wound. Worry about my wound damage. So that would be 19, and then my force die is 6.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you absolutely force the door open, and with that 6 on the force die, what would you like to do with that added benefit?
I would like to have hit the door so hard that it hits the Imperial officer on the other side of the...
Beautiful. Yeah, you force the door open, throw it into the room, and you hear "Ugh!" as it slams into someone on the other side. You do see that there are stormtroopers inside this room, seemingly waiting for you. It seems that word has got out that there are rebel intruders aboard the circlet.
Fleur just lets out a scream in response.
Yeah, Vesca's going to start shooting just immediately.
Blasters check.
Oh my, yes.
You see, with a quick glance, there appear to be 3 stormtroopers in here.
Okay. 11, 12, 13, 16, 19.
That absolutely hits. Damage.
Mm, 18, 21.
21 damage. They have a soak of 12, so that takes one of the stormtroopers out. Nicely done. One of them goes down before he even gets a shot off. Okay, back at the other turbo laser. Sorry. Luke super got me in the chat. He's going to throw stormtroopers up in the air. Pull! As Nexu takes them out. Oh, God. That's so funny. So Nexu, if you want to take a shot through the door, try and thread the needle to take one of these troopers out, you certainly can. God, the Rogue One soundtrack is so good. No, it finally happened. Damn it.
Let's in the chat earlier too. I could see it over there, and I was like, God damn it.
All right. Go ahead and roll damage there, if you would, Nexu. Even with a high dodge from the cover they have, that hits.
All right. So that's a 15 damage.
Enough to, let's see, take another one out. Yep. So a blaster bolt whizzes by your shoulder, Beskar, and takes out a second trooper. Oh! He goes down, falling over the cover that they put up. All right. Chalura, what do you want to do? There's one stormtrooper left in this room.
What to do? Clearly, I got to slice him in half with my vibroblade.
That's probably a good idea. That's so unlike you, though. I wouldn't have guessed that that's what you were going to do.
So that would be melee, right?
Correct.
You know what? I'm going to use another one. I have 4 character points left, so I'm going to use one before. So I'm going to use another one for to make sure that this hits. So that would be... Well, of course, it's going to be the last one that I roll horribly. My first die is 1, and my total roll is 3.
Oh boy. All right. So this stormtrooper is a little bit more capable than the standard fare. As you charge forward with your vibro blade, he sort of moves aside, blocks the blade with the butt of his gun, and knocks it out of your hand with a sort of like death maneuver where he sort of uses your momentum against you, dropping your vibro blade to the floor. You hear it clatter onto the deck below. Back at the other turbo laser, Sulla, what would you like to do?
So I feel like I'm doing some good for the rebellion here, but it might not be worth it to keep doing that because we have a mission here on the circlet. They're doing their job, we do ours.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually going to do exactly what the captain said, and I'm going to like break the wires again, reconnect them elsewhere. Maybe like something that instead of transferring this energy into the laser, it just cycles and keeps cycling and cycling and cycling and building and building and building and building. And so, and all of a sudden this turbo laser starts to shake maybe. Can I roll technical to see if it does what I want it to do?
Absolutely.
All right. So that's armament, right?
Yes. Yeah, for weapons and armor. Yep.
Sweet. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 total.
11 total. Let's see. Yeah, that's enough to do what you want to do. So you're able to, you know that it's sort of overloading this there's like a that starts sounding in the room. Next to you hear it too as the turbo laser starts to overload.
Stand by to get some. And then the whole thing just explodes. I kind of fly away. I try to make it look like it's the jetpack, but it's clearly some of the force from the explosion. I'm going to get as quickly as possible over to my companions across the chasm and whatnot.
Yeah, as soon as he sees Sola come flying out, he immediately turns on his jetpack and tries to go right next to him.
Should I roll to try to pilot myself with the jetpack?
Yeah, that'll be an acrobatics check.
Cool.
Which I fully decided I'm going to rename to agility.
Nice.
Should I be making that check as well?
Yes, please.
You're going to need to save me, John, so I hope so.
Hopefully you get a 6 on that force die.
I did get a 6 on the force die, and total is 14.
You are able to make it across.
Nexu meets me with one of those cool, like, Dylan handshakes.
A Dylan handshake.
A Dylan handshake.
You son of a bit. Empire's got you pushing too many Death Stars. That's what Tarkin and Vader say to each other when they see each other. Oh, man. And with that 11, yeah, you were able to make it across as well, Nexu. So both of you land on the other side of this chasm, and behind you, the turbo laser explodes and topples in on itself, sending debris flying out in all directions. With that, I actually have to step away for like 2 minutes to grab my cat because it is keeping my daughter awake as my wife tries to put her down for bed. So I'm going to go grab the cat, and I will be right back.
Bring in the cat.
Oh, man. I feel like when we first started this, like, what's the plan? We're going to blow it up. And then we've pretty much just been doing that.
Yeah, the other 2 missions that we did were extremely, like, meticulously planned, and this one was just like, let's just fucking blow it up.
It's just because I feel like when I first heard you guys say that, I was like, it's clearly a joke. You know, probably be a little sneak. No, we're literally just blowing everything up.
So I learned that that phrase stand by to get some from a Navy SEAL team who, like, right when there's like incoming fire or incoming enemies, that's like their tradition to say stand by to get some as calmly as possible. And I just thought it was the most badass thing ever to say, like, before jumping out of a plane or before blowing something up.
Walking away from the explosion.
Yep. Stand by to get some.
I think FUBAR is one of those military terms that I've always thought was like really cool.
Yeah. Nice acronym.
So my cat does this thing whenever there's a closed door. He assumes that something awesome is happening on the other side that he's missing out on. So whenever we're trying to put my daughter to bed, he'll sit outside the door and go, meow, 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 just like incessantly. And it keeps my daughter up. It's so infuriating. So now he's going to be down here bothering me, which is great.
There was one time I was I'm sorry, this is a dumb story, but I have to tell it now. Factoid trigger. I was in Matt's bathroom, going to the bathroom, and while I was sitting there, the cabinet opened up and out came that cat, and he just looked at me like I was violating his personal space. And I also I looked at him like he was violating my personal space. It was a very close moment. It's never been the same since.
Yeah, so he sleeps in that cabinet all the time, so much so that we put a bed in there for him, which is awful because it just encourages him to be in there. But he'll be sitting there. It's worse if he doesn't come immediately out, but if he just kind of sticks his head out of the cabinet and you just sort of like have this feeling like I'm being watched, and you looked over and there's this little face like peering out at you in the crack of the cabinet door. It's awful. Anyway, so I love my cat, but he is an asshole, so we're going to continue on here. So all of you now are on the same side of this retracted bridge. The previous turbo laser is destroyed, and there is still one stormtrooper alive in the other turbo laser room. Beskar, I believe we're back to you.
Okay, I'm going to try and shoot this guy.
Shoot away, sir.
Remaining guy. 7, 8, 9, 10, 15.
15 hits.
9, 15 damage.
That is enough to take him out. Go ahead and describe it.
Yeah, so Chalira like doesn't quite manage to get him, but Beskar is like fired at the one. He just like raises the rifle and like takes a breath, and then when Chalira moves out of the way in the correct way, he'll just really quickly take the shot and move into the room.
Yeah, Stormtrooper drops to the plating, his plasteel armor clattering, and it's at about that time that Sulla and Nexu, you two, arrive in the second turbo laser as well.
All right. Now time to blow up the ship.
Yeah, Beskar, you know that the two turbo lasers are down. The only thing left to do is disabling the deflector shield around the Executor so the B-Wings can make their bombing run.
Okay, we can't do that from here, I assume, so we're going to have to move again? Yeah.
Yep, one last stop. Over the comms, you hear your commanding officer, Colonel Tavi. She comes over the comms crackling. Defiance, status report.
Turbo lasers down. Deflector shields next. ETA 7.
Try to 3, and then cuts out. You see the battle continuing to rage above, and the Carillion Corvette that was sort of drifting out of control. You see it kind of float by the viewport of the turbo laser, and as it does, it kind of breaks in half. The engine portion floating up as the bridge portion kind of comes down, floating towards the moon that the circlet is surrounding, completely decimated by the turbo laser fire of the Star Destroyers. And as if on cue, 2 more Star Destroyers jump in over the moon. The rebel forces are now outnumbered about 6-1 at this point.
All right, we got to move really quick and get these deflector shields down. So I guess we have like a printout or like a layout of what it's going to look like.
Yeah, you have that hologram that Tavi showed you. Yeah, you have like a Scantron, like yeah, like the fold out like roadmap. Okay, we're here. So we just need to take I-90 up to the deflector shield generator.
Is it like is this going to be like another sort of garrison type building?
You imagine so, yeah.
Okay.
Likely pretty well defended.
Okay, and probably bigger than the turbo lasers. We should start moving and discuss it on the way.
Yeah, napkin with a Sharpie on it. Yeah, the four of you are able to move traveling in that direction, and you're able to sort of plan and strategize together. In fact, if you want to try and get close enough where you can kind of like scope it out first, you can do so.
Yeah, I mean, well, did you guys want to take the Imperial suits while we're here? Or do we want to just keep going gun blazing?
I don't think we have time.
Fair enough.
I think we just got to go. Kick indoors and keep doing what we're doing. It seems to be working.
Barker, your spelling of deflector shield in the chat is killing me. There's like a little stick figure like Stormtrooper next to it.
Yeah, there's an arrow, turbo laser spelled wrong, front to deflector shield. It's like, oh, just over there.
So you guys continue moving along the circlet as the battle rages overhead. There is a massive explosion above you after a few minutes of traveling. And as you look up, you see that one of the Victory class Star Destroyers, its shields has gone down, and Y-Wings sort of peel off from it, finishing their bombing run on this Victory class Star Destroyer. And it sort of breaks into a couple pieces and begins drifting down towards the circlet right towards you. I will need acrobatics checks, please.
I actually don't have acrobatics. I do have agility, though, if that's something that we want to.
This guy play tests.
Oh.
All right, you all survive. So as this hunk of Star Destroyer, just flaming wreckage, comes drifting down towards the circlet, all four of you sort of look up, see it in time, initiate your booster packs, and fly forward as the piece of the circlet you were just standing on gets completely destroyed as this piece of wreckage just essentially rockets through it, splintering it, sending it debris in all directions. All of you are knocked to your feet as you land.
Well, I'd say that's a good distraction.
Yeah, Beskar will rise and like flick some like flaming debris off his shoulder, and just continue moving as fast as we can.
You soon, over the horizon of the circlet, see the deflector shield generator, and just beyond it, the Executor. Not quite finished, but still the largest, most imposing starship you've ever seen. Likely 10 times the size of an Imperial class Star Destroyer. The bridge near the back of it, its hull blistered with turbo lasers and structures of all kinds. The engines are silent, but you imagine that when they would power up, the immense energy that it would need to power this huge thing through space would just be incredible. You're all sort of awestruck by it as you look upon it, fully realizing the need to destroy this thing and the fear that follows, knowing that there are two more already active operating in the galaxy. The deflector shield generator itself doesn't appear to have any sort of defenses on it. There are a couple of small laser turrets designed to take out fighter craft that attempt to attack the deflector shield generator. But all of you do see that there is an all-terrain armored transport, an AT-AT, sort of roaming next to the deflector shield. Sort of scanning around, looking. And you do see figures moving around the deflector shield generator in distinct white plastic armor.
Do we know from the layout of an AT-AT, could you go in the front? How do you get in? It's like a door underneath or something?
There is
that you could.
Yeah, I think in an AT-AT there's a hatch on the side that opens up that would drop like a ladder that you would climb into.
And is it like an arrow slit at the front, or is it big enough that you could fit through it? Because we can fly. I'm thinking we could like get in the front and take it and then blow up the thing with it.
Yeah, it is sort of an arrow slit, but it's also, you know, that I asked this last time, but it's transparasteel. That's what it's called. It's that transparent glass-like material on the front viewport.
I have a quick question. Can I shoot through the transparasteel glass thing and kill the person?
Especially at this distance, the chances of a blaster bolt getting through the transparent steel are pretty slim.
Follow-up question: can a vibroblade slice through transparasteel?
I think with enough time and effort, it likely could. Definitely not as quick as like a lightsaber could, though. Yeah. This is so funny. So quick divergent story, but the first time I ever played Star Wars D6, I was 11 years old, and there was a ATST that I had to fight, and I tried to shoot my blaster through the front viewport like 15 times and just couldn't do it. But I was so set in my plan that I was going to shoot through the viewport and kill the pilot with my blaster pistol. But it was like I was seriously sitting there shooting into the viewport for like 15 rounds trying to do it. And my dad was like, "Why don't you try something else?" And I was like, "Oh!" Just like continuously shooting into the viewport.
Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan just blasting the tank with his 9mm.
Yep, exactly. I found out later that he had strategically placed a rocket tube, if I had just looked around, I would have found a rocket tube that I could have fired at this thing. But that's not to say that there's a rocket tube. Yeah. You will suffer as I have suffered.
Okay, so I think it's possible that we can commandeer this thing. It might be difficult and dangerous, but it's also a really good way to like blow up a building, probably. In a way that
also blow up the fuel cell things, right? That we need to do for the shield. That thing is guarding the shield. If we can get into it, we can literally just turn it and blow the things up.
Yeah. Okay, so then we got to get in, right? So then the question is, how do we do that?
Okay, before I even attempt to make this idea, does it just not make sense to attempt to shoot at it no matter the distance that I am with my gun? Does that just sound like a really dumb thing to do?
Yeah, so essentially firing upon a vehicle of this size, your damage would be halved. And the soak on this thing is pretty insane. So you'd have to roll like probably max damage on all of your dice to even get through the transparasteel.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry, and there's no other vehicles or anything around, right?
Not that you see, aside from the occasional wing of TIE fighters flying overhead.
So I think that maybe we can cut our way into the cockpit of this thing. It might take a bit, but it's probably still quicker than going to the deflector shield base and killing the 50 stormtroopers who are in there. What do you guys think? We can fly up to the top, and like me and Chalura can begin like pulling up panels and chopping with vibroblades.
Could I act as a distraction? I mean, I'm wearing like stormtrooper armor that's kind of beat up. I could walk out there, throw a few shots towards you guys, and maybe act like I need help. They're probably not going to buy it for a long time, but maybe enough that you guys could get in close.
we could definitely get it to like turn at least, or start to turn in the direction that we want it, so that when we take it over, it doesn't have, you know what I mean? Then we don't have to do like this like 23-point turn with this AT-AT.
Yeah. Something to think about. I mean, the other thing is that we definitely, if it's not a person, it has to be something that's capable of, I don't know, making them focus everything on them. Throw a grenade somewhere.
See, I think if we, like, because we can fly, we can run close to it, which is where it's not very good. You know, it's good at shooting things that are big and far away. So if we get close to it, it's going to have a real difficulty messing with us. And if we're on top of it, it can't really do anything to us. So I think that might be our way.
Yeah.
And then it's also the case that other vehicles that might hurt us can't target us if we're on it, because they'll destroy this very expensive and powerful machine.
Yeah, in my experience, they probably will try to kill us anyway.
Yeah, that's possible. But then at least they've destroyed the AT-AT, I guess. I don't know what other... the other option, I guess, is to like just go to the deflector shield place and try and fight our way through. But we don't know what the situation there is in terms of like how many and that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is maybe we could just lure this thing far enough away from the deflector shield that we can just blow up the deflector shield. You know, maybe have this thing on a chase somehow. So in the area that we're in, is there like just enough debris or enough anything that we could zigzag through this without, you know, like, or is it just like an open field where like if it zooms in on us, we're probably going to die?
Yeah, there's quite a bit of like space, and like I said, like there's this weird sort of blistered terrain where there's plenty of cover and places to hide and things like that. The circlet itself is wide enough where it would take you a couple minutes to walk from one side to the other in terms of width. So you have quite a bit of space to work with.
Okay. So yeah, I'm totally into the idea of like making a separation between these two things, and instead of maybe putting all of our eggs into trying to take it down. Because the goal is to destroy the shields. That's like the primary goal. So if we separate ourselves and the distraction team is capable of getting into the AT-AT, that works. But if they die and they're far enough away, then the people at the shields can still blow up the shields.
Yeah, I think yes, for sure. I'm just wondering how you're going to blow up how anyone's going to blow up the shields if we don't have like a big gun.
Like is that the only thing that's capable of like penetrating it?
Just like with grenades or something, I don't know, but
yeah, because we all have 2 frag grenades, right?
Yeah,
I just figured we'd just take a pile of those.
We could sneak past it.
Yeah, so whoever's on on whichever team I happen to be on, I will give the people who are going to the shields my my frag grenades, I guess.
I don't mind Lira being the one who takes them to the shield.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, so I can definitely go on the distraction team because I'm really good at hiding.
Okay. Yep.
So
let's do it.
that's something. Oh, I also took smoke grenades, and I have a probe droid. So we do have some resources.
Okay,
That
so
is true.
is the plan to try and sneak past it and just get to the deflector shields and blow those up? Yeah.
Yep. So it's me, and who else is coming with me to do the distraction? Or it could just be me, I guess. That makes sense too.
If we also, I'm sorry to continue the conversation, but if we get through into the AT-AT, oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. Unbelievable. If we get into the AT-AT, it was you, Lloyd. If we get into the AT-AT through the side door.
I said it too. I said AT-AT.
You feel dirty. if we use the distraction and get in there, that AT-AT will be able to destroy those shields handily.
Yeah, that's why I think it's a useful idea in that it'll be able to blow up the shield thing and cause lots of havoc, sort of thing.
And maybe even
muted myself. We can definitely split up the diversion team. So one person trying to lead it away while one person tries to jump onto it. I'm like, the only thing I was saying is that like we shouldn't just be trying to jump onto it. I just think there's value in if we fail to jump onto it, it's still somewhere else.
Right.
So
Okay,
what
let's have people.
Oh, sorry.
You go.
I just said, so what'll it be, Captain? Now you go.
Let's have myself and Chalura fly onto the back of the AT-AT and try and tear open the roof and take control of it. And let's have you guys begin to move around towards the deflector shield. So if this plan fails, you can still try and blow them up with grenades or whatever else the situation might be.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I can also have my probe droid maybe do something for you guys. I don't know, take a grenade. It can self-destruct. So, I don't know.
Interesting. Maybe it has a convenient transparasteel cutting saw on one of those tendrils.
Oh, hey, look at this. I had it the whole time. The probe droid's like, sir, if I may be of assistance.
I can also hotwire an AT-AT.
You guys can just go. I got it from here, the probe droid says.
Yeah, one of the tendrils comes up with like a high five. See you later. All right, let's fucking do this.
All right, so if I'm hearing correctly, Chalura and Beskar, you guys are rocket jumping on the back of the AT-AT while Scylla and Nexu sort of flank around and head towards the deflector shield generator. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me find my pen and we'll get started. Where'd it go? Oh my God, where did it go? Seriously. Oh, I super lost it. Okay, that's all right. So let's go ahead and roll for initiative just so we have a order of operations here. Or actually, rather than doing that, we'll just have the two groups go together if that's okay. Just for ease of simplicity here. Okay, I seriously have lost my mind. I can't find this pen that I just had. It's in the ether, man. It's gone forever. So,
your butt?
Yeah, it's up my butt for sure. Okay, so Scylla and Nexu, are you two trying to avoid notice, or are you actively trying to create a distraction?
I think the plan was for us to avoid notice.
Okay, I will need stealth checks from both of you then, please.
Cool.
Is on second thought, maybe we should be a distraction. This is good.
You're not doing anything yet, Chalura. All right. What do you want to do with that force die, Nexu?
Oh man. Not sure.
Help Sola again?
Oh, so is Sola going to fail? So if he's going, okay, then I will 100 see him about to step on something that's going to make a very loud noise and immediately just guide him not to step on it.
Yeah, he's sort of like, you guys are coming around a corner and he's essentially going to walk directly into the line of sight of the AT-AT, and you sort of grab his shoulder and yank him back just in time, sort of slamming him back against the one of these structures safely out of the line of sight.
Yeah, you're on it today.
All right. And Beskar and Shalura, you two sort of creep up into range of the AT-AT, and then I believe you're going to try and rocket jump onto it. Anything you two want to say to each other before you attempt to ride atop a AT-AT?
I reckon Shalura does some sort of like loud grunt, and Beskar just sort of nods solemnly. You too.
Perfect. All right. I will need agility checks from both of you, otherwise known as acrobatics, to try and steer yourselves onto the back of this AT-AT. Holy hell. Complete opposite roll.
Three ones.
Yeah. Beautiful. With force die 1 as well. It's really tempting to just have, as you're flying a TIE fighter, just flies and hits Chalura, but that's not what's going to happen. So Beskar, you managed to rocket and land on the back of this AT-AT. And as you look back to Chalura, you see blaster fire tracing out from the back of this AT-AT and hit Chalura's pack, and he begins spinning wildly out of control. As you look to see where the blaster fire came from, you see that there are death troopers emerging from the back of this AT-AT.
That's what I was hoping for.
Perfect. My plan is coming together. So, Chalura, you are flying out of control. Would you like to try and bail out? Are you going to try and steer this thing to safety? What would you like to try to do?
Yeah, I'm going to try and crash into these death troopers.
Oh my god. Okay, awesome. I hate to tell you to do this, but give me another agility check if you would, please.
Come on, dice roll.
Also, of note, you all have 1 force point, which you can use 1 time to double the amount of dice that you're rolling.
Now's the time.
I'm happy you didn't mention this before, or else I would have used it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to use my force point as well.
Awesome.
This can't go wrong in any way, shape, or form. So do I double dice before or after I remove a wound?
Oh god. After you remove a wound.
Okay. And that's acrobatics, right?
Correct.
So 4 dice. Boom. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm just gonna type it out. This is on 4 dice, mind you.
I only need the edge of my seat. The rest of it.
I'm just gonna be a shag carpet by the end of this session.
Oh.
Oh my god.
That's with double your dice?
That's 4 dice.
Wow.
Like-
Whoever thought it was a good idea to strap a rocket pack to the back of a Wookiee. So what do you think happens, Chalura, with that roll as you're trying to steer yourself towards the Death Troopers?
He's like twirling, so he's trying to regain control and aim it at them. But like he just completely misses and goes like between the legs instead.
Yeah, you sort of, I imagine you maybe even collide with one of the legs as you're flying past. And as you fall to the plating below, you're going to take 2 wounds.
Oof.
What's your stamina?
5.
Okay. You could take 2 more wounds before you are
Mhm.
down for the count. All right, so Beskar, you see Death Troopers emerging from the top of the AT-AT. You see that there are 2 in their black, shiny armor. A third one emerges, and you see that she has a blood-red pauldron on one shoulder, and she reaches back and loosens a vibroblade in its sheath on her back. There's a strange familiarity that sort of happens between you two as you look upon her.
It's too cool. I wish that I was more pragmatic, but fighting a sword fight on the back of the AT-AT is the coolest thing that could happen. And Beskar is Mandalorian, so I feel like he feels like this is important. And so he like looks over his shoulder at like the mission, and then like sees this like duel of honor that has to go down. And he'll like look at her, and then to the other 2, and sort of like raise an eyebrow and pull his own vibroblade.
Amazing. And as the 2 Death Troopers lift up their heavy blaster rifles, the one with the blood-red pauldron actually puts her hand on the back of their shoulders and sort of walks forward, basically silently saying, "This one's mine." And she draws the vibroblade out and holds it with 2 hands in front of her. There ain't no Jedi in this game, but this shit is happening. Duel of the Fates for sure. Everyone in the chat is probably like, why the hell I keep singing that riff from CKY? What the
Oh god.
So before this duel commences, Scylla and Nexu, you 2 are working your way towards the shield generator. You see Chalura crash into the deck of the circlet. You see that his rocket pack is sort of sputtering on his back as he careens down, colliding to the deck below.
I think we might need to do this on our own.
Yeah, they seem kind of busy. I guess my question is, I can stand here and make sure that it's a one-on-one fight that they have going on up there. And you can go blow stuff up like I know you love to. Or I can go with you and make sure that you blow stuff up.
I like the first plan, and he winks, but he says, forget the fair fight nonsense. If you get a clean shot, take that Death Trooper out.
You know me, I always like to fight dirty.
And we're all very grateful.
This is really dumb, and I definitely shouldn't do this, but I want to shoot the sword out of her hand again.
Like last time. All right. So go ahead and make a blaster's check with 1 fewer dice because you're trying to target something specifically.
Cool. 26.
Yeah, that hits. So you shoot, And as this death trooper is approaching you, Beskar, you see a blaster bolt fly and hit the bridle blade, and it knocks it out of her hand. And she sort of like looks at where it fell and then looks at you through the lenses of her helmet.
You don't win wars. You don't belong to the Mandalorians by letting this kind of thing go to waste. And so he's going to rush forward and try and slash her down.
Yep. Give me a melee check. She's going for these two. She has two heavy blaster pistols at her belt, and she's going for those as you charge towards her.
I can respect that. All right, Beskar, baby. I'm actually going to do my, I did before I look at my dice, I'm going to do my force point thing and roll.
Beautiful. Yep.
That's going to put me at a lot of dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then another 2. Oh, Jesus. I should have done this for damage, huh? Would have been smarter.
Can't use force points on damage, but yeah.
Okay. It's like well over 30.
Yeah, you absolutely hit.
Excellent. Okay. And then the damage is going to be 3 plus my strength. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10 damage. Let's see. Death Trooper. Enough to stun, not enough to wound. So what does that look like? That insane roll that you made with that vibroblade, what does it look like as you charge towards her?
Yeah, so he has it in both hands and he like charges forward and sees her like beginning to draw the pistols. And he's gonna, in like a very graceful move, gonna just like shoulder block her, knowing that he's bigger and he's got the heavier armor. And then as she like swings backwards, he's gonna slash at her midsection and it, like maybe cuts a little bit deep, but not deep enough to kill.
Yeah, she drops to the plating of the AT-AT, sort of sliding backwards as she goes for the blasters. As she does so, the other two Death Troopers taking cue raise up their heavy blaster rifles and take aim at you, Beskar. Let's go ahead and roll for initiative since we're in combat now.
Probably not us as well, or us too?
Yeah, you guys too, just so we have an order of operations here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7, 11.
I'm a silly boy who doesn't know how to roll for initiative.
Perception.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. What's your dodge, out of curiosity, Beskar?
My dodge is 15.
15? Okay, so that first shot misses. Ooh, the second shot is going to hit. They have heavy blaster rifles, which is 6 damage. 11, 14, 17, 20. 24 damage. So go ahead and reduce that by your soak.
Okay, so let's still do like 12.
12 damage?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's your stamina?
My stamina is 4.
4. Okay, so 3 times.
Wait, how much was it? 24?
Yeah, 24, and then reduce it by your soak.
I'm so bad at maths. I have 13 soak. Can you do that for me? Because my brain is not working.
So 24, 13, so 11 damage total.
Not 12.
So that's going to be 2 wounds.
Ooh, ouch. Okay.
There's just this like hail of blaster fire as these Death Troopers unload on you as you stand there with your vibroblade. A few of them miss, but the second Death Trooper gets lucky with a couple of his shots. And Luke, there is a minimum. You can't go lower than 1d, so you can technically always roll 1d. And if you're rolling 1d, it's always force die as well. So there's always a force die no matter what. Okay. You roll initiative for these guys. 1, 2, 3. They have 3 perception. 5, 8, 9. They got 9. Okay, so looks like it's going to be Beskar, and then Death Troopers, Nexu, Scylla, and then, or no, let's do Chalura since Scylla got 1 on his force die. God, Duel of the Fates is awesome. All right. So Beskar, you're up first.
Okay, so I'm suffering now pretty badly from those 2 wounds. I'm gonna... I'm gonna try and... I'm gonna run away from where I am. Do I get opportunity attacks in this game?
No.
I'm going to run towards the head of the AT-AT, and then I'm going to fling a grenade, or roll a grenade along the bottom of the thing behind me, because I think it'll do more damage. My sword does not do a lot of damage, and I'm badly wounded. My arm is barely working.
Beautiful. Okay, yeah, so give me a throw check, if you would, please, for that grenade.
I have -2, huh?
Yeah, -2D from those wounds.
Okay, so 7.
7. The Death Trooper's dodge is 12. So the grenade rolls along the back of the AT-AT. The Death Troopers see it coming and dodge out of the way as it goes off, momentarily displacing them from their position, but otherwise not doing any damage to them.
Okay.
So you're running towards the head of the AT-AT.
Yeah. I don't know if it's possible, but like the gap between where the body and the head is, maybe I could like jump down in that hole or something.
Yeah, you can sort of slide. I imagine you sort of like sliding into it and taking cover there in the neck area. You hear the servos of the neck beneath you as the head sort of rotates. You can see that it's scanning for where the sniper shot came from, trying to find Nexu in the cover. Okay, Death Troopers get to go. They are going to hold their actions until they see you, Beskar. So they sort of like move forward, training their blaster rifles on you. And Lieutenant Colonel Cage stands up, sort of like cracking her neck and drawing out both of those blaster pistols. Okay, Nexu, you're up. You can see that the AT-AT is actively sort of searching for you, looking for where that shot came from.
Okay. Oh man. So, all right. I want to help my dude. Do they have like equipment on them that I could target that would affect multiples of them? Like, do they have like a grenade on them that I could shoot?
Yeah, they have grenades on their bandoliers. You can see that they have like frag grenades. It would be a very difficult shot to make, but you could attempt it.
Okay, I will attempt this shot, and I will use. Well, is this going to be like the last one where it's just a -1 to hit it?
For something this size, I would say probably -2 dice to your roll to try and hit a grenade.
Cool. Like, can I use character points to like just grab those things back? Is that how that works?
Yeah, so you can use 1 character point per roll, so you could offset one of those dice if you wanted to with a character point.
Okay, yeah. So I will use 1 character point and just have a -1 to the roll.
Perfect.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Uh, 16.
See, their dodge is 12, so yep, that's a hit.
Nice.
I won't even have you roll for damage because the grenade's going to go off. So you sort of bring the gun up, finding the scope as the Death Troopers move forward. You target one of the frag grenades on the bandolier, take the shot, and a split second later, there's an explosion at the top of the AT-AT, and you feel the heat kind of wash over you from where you're standing behind cover, Beskar. It's not clear exactly how much damage you did, as the smoke is kind of not cleared yet, but you definitely took out one of the frag grenades on the guy's belt.
Do I need to spend another action to just like go prone?
No, you can just use your move to go prone for sure.
Yeah, so I'll just go prone and maybe move a little bit.
Cool. All right, that was Nexu. All right, Shalura, you are wounded down on the plating of the circlet. You feel the intense like quake of the footfalls of the walker directly above you as it moves. What would you like to do?
Are we still doing actions and stuff? So I can like say like.
Yeah, you can do multiple actions. You get -1d for each action beyond the first. And you can take a maximum number of additional actions equal to your dexterity. So if you had like dexterity 3, you could do 4 total actions because you could get 3 additional actions, if that makes sense.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pick up the other vibroblade.
Yep. Yeah, it's sort of like spun down and maybe even like stuck into the plating of the deck.
And I'm gonna like almost like kind of jury rig it into my holster that I already have for my other one. Now Shiller's gonna look up at these AT-AT legs, and his first thought that's gonna go in his head is when he was a young Wookiee on Kashyyyk, and the big giant trees that he had to climb up to get from point A to point B. So he's gonna do his best to. These AT-AT legs are giant tree trunks just made out of metal. So he uses his Wookiee claws and just go and climb up this thing as fast as he can.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me an athletics check.
Okay, I'm gonna use how many character dice? Character dice. Oh my god, character points can I use per roll?
Just 1.
Just 1. Okay, then what did you say? Was it athletics or
athletics? Yeah.
Okay, so then that's 2 dice.
Should go a little bit better for you than than agility does.
I got 18 wild die, roll 6.
Yeah, you grab onto the passing leg of this AT-AT, swing yourself up, and in the lessened gravity of the circlet, you're able to basically lunge up this thing using your immense Wookiee strength and your expertise in climbing, and you sort of vault up and land next to Beskar.
And when I get to the top, I'm just gonna take the 2 vibroblades out and one in each Wookiee hand.
So Beskar, last you saw Chalura, he was colliding with the leg of this walker, and he sort of lands beside you, battered and bloody, but still standing, drawing 2 vibroblades.
Yeah, he probably like looks up at the sky and is sort of like, "Thank you."
All right, Sola, you're up.
Sulla is moving. He's got a frag grenade in his hand, and he's moving towards. I want to move towards the like the best place to place it to obliterate some sort of shield generator or something to move the process along and complete the mission. What does it look like where I am?
So you're probably still at long range away from the shield generator. You can see that the shield generator itself, there are stormtroopers sort of swarming all over it, and 2 gun emplacements, these like heavy repeaters on tripods with stormtroopers behind them.
Well, you know what? Initially, it helped us that the stormtroopers were looking up at space, but now that their focus is on the ground, I think I want to try to hit the jets, get as high as I possibly can, and try to come down behind or on top of one of those heavy repeater.
Beautiful. Yeah. Cool. Go ahead and give me a agility check, if you would, please.
Will do. I already changed it on my character sheet.
Beautiful. I love you so much. You're always forgiven for that CKY shit.
Always forgiven. 10 total.
10 total? That's just enough. You jet up And as you're coming down, the stormtroopers look up and see you, and you land right behind this big repeater cannon on a tripod.
Nice. I should have said 2 actions, but that's fine because I already rolled that one. So.
Yeah. Sorry.
You know what? No. Actually, I wouldn't have done it because I only roll 3 d6 on that agility check, and I don't want to roll 2.
You don't want to chance it. End up like poor Chalura with his broken jetpack. All right, we're back up at the top of the initiative. Beskar, as far as you know, there are still Death Troopers atop the AT-AT, though you did hear an explosion up there.
Beskar is gonna reach into one of the pockets on the inside of his armor and pull out like a stim pack and shove it into his leg. Only spend a character point so I can med pack myself. So that'll make it only -1 die for this action, right?
Correct.
Here's hoping for success. Okay, yeah, so 12. So I'll heal 1 wound, and then I'll do that again. Oh shit! No, I can't do it again because I wouldn't have enough dice to do it.
Yeah,
So
you would have reduced by 1 die.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So, but you do remove 1 of your wounds. So now you're only at -1 for your actions.
Excellent. And then seeing that Chalura is going to cover me basically and hold off these Death Troopers, I'm going to start moving onto the head of this AT-AT and see like if there's an emergency exit for if it crashes or something.
Yep, you do find there is a hatch. It's almost invisible, but you manage to spot the seam of it. This sort of access hatch that you know can likely, in most cases, only be opened from the inside. But you know there's always a way in to any door. Yep. So on your next turn, you can attempt to slice into that door. All right, Death Troopers get to go. So there was only 1 Death Trooper remaining. The other 2 were taken out when this frag grenade went off. You see the Death Trooper with the blood red pauldron sort of stagger onto the lip of this AT-AT, holding 2 blaster pistols. Her armor is scorched and smoldering. She scans really quickly, sees Beskar and Chalura, and levels both blaster pistols, taking 2 shots, 1 at Chalura, 1 at Beskar. So she'll be at -1 D for the check. See, Death Troopers get blasters 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 8, 10, 12 on Chalura. What's your dodge? I imagine that hits.
Oh, sorry. What was that? What is my dodge?
Yeah, 12 against your dodge. That's
9.
The static number. Okay, yeah, so that's a hit. I'm going to roll some damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or no, this is a heavy blaster pistol. That's 4. 5, 6, 8, 10. 10 damage. Reduce that with your soak and whatever's left. You take.
So reduce that with my soak?
Yep.
That would be 0.
Okay, yeah. You eat the blaster shot, essentially. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Blaster shot coming at you, Beskar. 6, 8, 10, 15, 16. I imagine that hits your dodge.
Yep.
Okay, 4 damage. Here we go. 3, 6, 8, 9 damage. Soaked it. Beautiful. So she comes up, starts taking shots with the blasters, and then sort of backs up, going back into cover to avoid any counterattacks. Okay, Nexu, you're up. You see that Sola has jetpacked over into the shield generator.
All right, so Sola's good. He probably doesn't need me to cover him for anything.
Sola's good. He just jetpacked into a mass of stormtroopers. He's fine.
Oh, my bad. I just assumed that it was just a shield generator over there. Okay. So there's a bunch of dudes over there.
Yeah, this thing is crawling with stormtroopers. He basically jetpacked behind one of the little turret emplacements over there.
Gotcha. Okay. Can I don't know if this is a check, but is it obvious if people saw him jetpack over there? Are they like more distracted by the explosions with the AT-AT?
They definitely saw him. At least the ones in close proximity are sort of turning with their blaster rifles towards him.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna try to do more like Hawkeye stuff. I want to throw a smoke grenade and then shoot it.
Okay.
How do I do that?
That would be 2 actions. One, you
Sure.
do a throw check and a blasters check. What are you trying to accomplish specifically in doing this?
So I kind of want to I want the smoke grenade to explode over. Maybe I could just throw the smoke grenade over there and it'll explode.
That wouldn't be.
And it's definitely cooler to shoot it and it explodes. But I just want to give him some cover and maybe make them think, because obviously if he's up there and then smoke grenades, they're like, maybe there's some other guy over here. So I want them to turn and look at me enough for him to get on the gun and then start shooting at them.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you want to throw a grenade or if you want to take some shots, whatever you want to do to basically draw attention to yourself.
Oh, you know what? That makes a lot more sense. I should throw a frag grenade and then shoot that, right? Makes a lot more. That is definitely a bigger attention getter.
That gets all the attention, man.
Depending on how strong your arm is, you could just chuck it. But actually, I'm not entirely sure how far you are. I think you're probably a little too far away.
Okay. And I have a free move, right?
You do, yep.
So can I use the jetpack as a move to get close enough and then throw it and then shoot it?
Yeah, because the jetpack allows you to move 2 range bands with your move, so you can basically get close enough and then chuck the grenade.
Cool. So yeah, I'm gonna move with my jetpack or fly up, throw the grenade, and then try to Hawkeye shoot it.
Okay. So throw check and then a blasters check, each with -1 for the 2 actions.
Okay. I'm assuming that the throw check is
Dex.
just strength.
It's
Is it
actually
just-
Dex.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Yep.
perfect. I'm good at throwing things.
Even better.
All right, cool. Okay. 17 to. Oh wait, this is 1 less die though, right?
Yep.
Let me re-roll that. Very bad re-roll. So that is a 1 on the fate die or the force die, and I got 4 altogether.
Ooh.
Yeah, very bad throw.
So, how close were you trying to get that grenade to Sulla?
Yeah.
Probably not that close.
Yeah. So the grenade lands a little bit too close to Sulla. Do you still want to try and shoot it, or you just want to wait for it to go off?
I think I'm going to try to shoot it at this point. I want to try to shoot it away from him.
Yeah. So give me the blasters check with -1.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what happens if you roll a 1 on that force die, right? Throwing that out.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Can I use a force point?
Did you use your force point already, or you haven't used it?
No, I haven't used it yet.
Yeah, use it.
And that you said that doubles the amount of die I roll?
Doubles the dice. Yep.
Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just gonna roll twice. 4, 6, 2, 4.
Now that's a fistful of dice, baby.
So it is not a 1 on the force die, but I have a lot of 6s. Do you want me to count all of this?
No, I can actually see on the webcam all the 6s that you got, even just in my field of view. So that's funny. So like you see the grenade like tink, 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 sort of land really close to you, and all the stormtroopers kind of look at it and then look at you, and then this blaster shot sort of skip jumps the grenade away, and it explodes like up in the air away from you. All the stormtroopers kind of like duck and shield themselves to get away from it. So Nexu has successfully distracted the stormtroopers enough to basically assist you, and you'll get an extra die on your next check.
You just hear over the comms, I meant to do that.
Nexu, not so good at throwing, really good at shooting. That's his tagline. Chalura, you're up.
Sweet. So I see this. I see this Death Trooper with 2 dual pistols, and Chalura is pretty badly wounded. So, Chalura will. He's got these 2 vibroblades in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
I have an idea. I have no idea if it will work, but I use that Wookiee strength. I obviously know which vibroblade is mine compared to hers.
Yeah, they look very different.
Okay. I'm going to take her vibroblade, and with my Wookiee strength, try to throw it so that it impales her with her own blade.
Okay. Yeah. I'll let you try to do that. Let's see. Technically a throw check, but if you're just going for brute strength, let's try athletics.
All right. And I'm going to use my last character point for this. Okay, that is 18 with a 6 on my wild die.
That's enough to hit. Go ahead and give me some damage, whatever your normal damage is with a vibroblade.
Oh. Okay. So I'm going to be rolling 8 dice.
Damn.
You got me down from 9. I got. Where is it? Okay. I got my first die is 5, and my damage is 35.
Oh my god. Okay, so Death Trooper has soak 15, so that's 20 damage total. Stamina is okay. Okay, so 4, 5. Okay, so you managed to throw. Well, actually, you describe it. Miraculously, this Death Trooper is still standing, but she is badly wounded. So what does that look like?
So let's see. She's holding her blasters like this. Okay, so she's alive, but she's badly wounded.
Yep.
Okay. So it doesn't. It does go into her. So it's spinning through the air. And as it goes blade first, it goes through her forearm and then pinning her forearm to her chest.
Awesome. Yeah. And you hear through the vocoder as she sort of falls backwards with this vibroblade through her arm. For a second, you see her kind of strain and then realize that she can't get her arm free. So she drops the blaster pistol in that hand. Awesome. Good job, Chalura. Sola, you are up. You are behind this heavy repeating cannon. What would you like to do?
How many stormtroopers are near me?
There are 3 stormtroopers, 2 of which are holding blaster rifles. The third one was on the gun, so he doesn't have his blaster in his hand.
Cool. I would love to take 2 actions to shoot one of these stormtroopers and bayonet the other one.
Okay, yeah, so that'll be a blaster's check and a melee check, both of which at -1 die.
All right, so here's the blasters. 10, 15 on the blasters.
Hit. Give me some damage.
So, 5, 4. No. 6. Yeesh. 6, 10, 14, 19, 25, 26.
Yep. One of the stormtroopers goes down. Bayonet the other one with a melee.
-1 die. 9.
9. Parry is... you just hit.
Yes.
Give me damage.
Sweet. 3D. 2, 8, 14. Killing it.
14 damage, Soka's 2. So not quite enough to take out this stormtrooper, but you do stun it.
Nice.
I imagine you sort of come up, bringing the bayonet up. It maybe blocks the bayonet, but you slam into it with the butt of the rifle or something like that.
Yeah, perfect. Maybe the I imagine there might be some small fortifications around these turrets, like minor sandbags or something, and
Totally.
I'm just shoving them against those.
Durasteel crates. That's what's always...
Yep, Durasteel crates.
Yep.
Other stormtroopers.
Yeah. Other stormtroopers. That's perfect. Yeah, so one of the stormtroopers goes down. The second one is wounded, or not wounded, stunned. The third one is going for his blaster rifle, holstered at its side. We're back at the top of the initiative. Beskar, would you like to try and hack into this door and open it?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. That'll be a computers check if you want to try and basically hotwire the door.
Do I ever? Yep. I'm going to spend another character point so I can roll all my dice. Okay. 26.
26. Yeah. You pop open a panel, almost invisible, next to the door. Spend maybe a few seconds sort of crossing wires using your hacking tools, and you hear as the hatch unlocks.
I'm jumping in without looking.
Yeah, you lift it and jump in. You immediately see you're in this small, cramped cockpit. There are 2 drivers sort of sitting at the helm of this this AT-AT. You see that they have these big sort of flared plasteel helmets. And as you jump into the deck behind them, they sort of look around and maybe even do a double take, expecting a death trooper or something to drop in, but they see you, and both go for blasters at their sides. Okay, death troopers. So Cage stands, this vibroblade pinning her arm, and she shakily lifts the remaining blaster pistol towards you, Chalura. She's going to take a shot. She's rolling at -3 from these wounds. So let's see. That'll put her at 2D for blasters. Man, that hurts. Oh, I rolled real well, though. Does a 10 hit your dodge? I'm sorry, I forgot your dodge.
My dodge is 9, so yeah.
Okay, yep. So yes, that hits. Damage on the heavy blaster is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whew. 5, 10, 14, 20 damage.
Minus my soak.
Yep.
So that's 5 damage.
5 damage. So if that is more than your stamina, that'll be another wound.
That is exactly my stamina.
Okay, so another wound. Or no, wait. If it's equal to your stamina, that is a stun. So you are stunned in addition to being wounded. So that's another -1d, but it only lasts for 1 round. It's temporary. Okay. Let's see. The drivers in the AT-AT are going to take a shot at you, Beskar. They're not awesome at it, though. 3 dice on blasters. 6. 8 does not hit your dodge. 9. And 11 does not hit your dodge. So they, even in this cramped space, they turn around with their blasters and fire at you, but miss. You manage to sort of duck out of the way. Nexu, you are up. Oh, you're muted, John.
Sorry. So what is the situation that's going on? So
you've got Sulla. He's sort of engaged in close quarters combat with the stormtroopers around this heavy repeating turret. And then you see that Chlura is fighting a death trooper on top of the AT-AT. You actually see Beskar disappear into the AT-AT's cockpit.
okay. So probably, yeah, Solura is probably the one that's in like the most dire situation. So I'm not going to throw another grenade at him though. I'm just going to try to pick somebody off. How many people are around?
So there were 3 stormtroopers around him. One is down. You see him engaged actively with a second one, and there's a third one going for his gun.
All right, I'm going to try to shoot the third one.
Okay, blasters check.
Actually, quick question. So do I decide to take 2 actions now and then reduce a die for each action now?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to take 2 actions then. I'm going to attempt to shoot the guy who's going for his gun and then attempt to shoot the guy who he's wrestling with.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, 2 shots.
So,
You know what happens if you get a 1 on the force die for the guy I'm wrestling with, right? Go ahead.
I shoot the grenade that's on your belt.
Even better.
No. Oh, it's gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. So 5, 10, 17, 18, 19, 22 to hit.
22 to hit definitely hits.
All right, cool. It's 6 damage. Let's see. 6, 12, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, that is 27 damage.
27 damage. Yeah. So that was on the one drawing his gun, or the one that Sulla's fighting?
Yeah, the one drawing his gun.
Okay, yeah. So you feel a blaster bolt, Sulla, sort of right by your ear, and you hear the clank of a stormtrooper body hitting the plating behind you. All right, second check there, Nexu.
All right, so is this one -2, or is this one also -1?
Just -1, yeah. Yeah, for every additional action, you get -1 to all checks for the round.
Gotcha. All right, so that's a 20 to hit.
Definitely hits.
Uh, 26 damage.
Yeah. So as soon as you hear the ping of the stormtrooper hitting the plating, another blaster bolt, and you just, it goes through the stormtrooper's neck that you're sort of wrestling with, and his body goes slack in your arms.
Yeah, he was like getting close to pointing his blaster at my face, and it was like, ah, he dies and then just falls. It was perfect timing. Again.
The body count on Nexu is just ridiculous.
Imperial sniper, man.
Yep. I'm really good at killing stormtroopers.
This is the first session he's really had the range to have fun with it.
It's true. It's been a lot of like close quarters combat. I was happy that we got a little bit more range on this one. Okay. Chalura, you are up. You are staring down this death trooper.
I am indeed staring down the death trooper. Chalura, stunned by this flash bolt, clearly disoriented and everything. We'll kind of briefly look back, seeing the open kind of hatch thing that Beskar was able to go down into. And he will actually stab his vibroblade in next to the door the hatch itself. He'll slowly turn back towards this Death Trooper. And even though it is completely disrespectful in his own culture, he will get his claws out from his hands. And I'm gonna attempt to full-on football tackle this Death Trooper and then continue to run until both of us go off the back of the AT-AT.
Amazing. Give me a brawl check.
Okay. Okay. So that's before I keep going. On a 6, I reroll, right?
You can, yeah. You can either choose to roll it again or have something cool or good happen for you.
I'm gonna reroll.
Okay.
And then I add it to that, right?
Yep, correct.
Okay. All right, I got baby in background. Apologies. I got 16. I got 16 in total.
16? Okay. Yeah. That is enough. So I imagine that you get these claws out after stabbing your vibroblade into the plating of this AT-AT. And as you charge towards this Death Trooper, letting out a Wookiee roar, claws bared, she manages to rip the vibroblade out. And as you collide with her, she drives this vibroblade into you. But you keep going, you keep charging forward, even as you feel the vibroblade bite into your flesh, and the two of you topple off the back of the AT-AT. Sola, you see this as you stand up from the fight. Nexu, through your scope, you see this. And in the lessened gravity, it's like this slow motion fall as the two of them fall down. And this Death Trooper, she tries to like flip you around so that you like she lands on you, but you dig in your claws. You keep holding on. You topple down towards the plating of the circlet and hit the deck. Do you want to describe your last moments, Chalura?
Well, she's obviously dead, I'm going to assume. Yeah.
She gets up. She's a Terminator. She's just like, Wee! No, I'm just kidding. She's dead.
Fleur just goes, I'll be back. No. No, Fleur will just push her off of him. And he kind of goes to like push himself up, but he feels like all the energy and all the strength that he's felt over the years slowly drain out of his body. And he's got this vibroblade in his chest. And he knows that if his friends don't succeed, he doesn't want the Empire to capture him or use him for whatever means they're going to choose to. So he will, with the last of his strength, pull the 2 frag grenades out of his pocket and activate them and hold on to them, yelling at the top of his lungs in the Wookiee scream the entire time until they detonate.
There's an explosion behind the AT-AT. There's static on the comms from Chalura. A Wookiee roar cut off. Sulla, you're up.
Of all the emotions Sulla has tapped into, rage helps the most during battle. his face turns red and he begins yelling as he, he's no longer celebratory about these fallen opponents that Nexu has eliminated around him. I want to pick up the heavy repeating blaster. And the first thing I want to do is two actions. I want to turn it on the other turret emplacement, blast him, and then I want to pick it up and start moving towards the shield generator while blasting people.
Amazing. Yep.
All right, so I turn it on.
That'll be 2 blasters checks.
All right, cool. So first one, turned on the other group. Oh, baller. 11, 12, 13, 16.
Yeah. Give me some damage.
And I'm going to do it all that damage. No auto fire, right?
Yep.
6, 7, 8. Oh my gosh, so much damage. 3, 4, 5, 6, 11, 14, 15, 21, 26.
Yeah. You just fire off these shots from the heavy repeater, and you just see these stormtroopers just disappear in a shower of sparks as you just light up this other gun emplacement, and then you rip it off.
Yep, I pull it out and I begin shooting in the other direction. I don't know if there are other stormtroopers there. If not, I'm just
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Can I shoot at him?
Yeah, please do.
Now you go. All right, sweet. 4 again with the green. 5, 10, 15, 18.
Definitely hits.
Gosh, man. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 11, 15, 17, 18, 23, 24, 27.
Okay. Let's see. 7 soak is 12, 15. Stamina's 3. That's enough to take out 5 stormtroopers. What does that look like?
One of Sulla's heroes in the rebellion is this legendary rebel who went out fighting with a huge blaster like this. He only knows him by the name Baze. And so he's calm, he's collected, and he has channeled his fury into just steel gazes and blaster bolts as he walks step by step towards the shield generator. Stormtroopers are falling into it like everywhere he moves and fires. Stormtroopers fall, while all the while blaster bolts kind of ricochet near him. Actually, that's not what a blaster bolt sounds like, ricocheting, but he's the shield generator is still on, I imagine, so whenever it hits the ground it might bounce off, and he's surrounded by incoming fire, but it doesn't face him whatsoever.
Beautiful. Yeah, you're just raining death down on these stormtroopers. We're back up at the top of the initiative, but Beskar, before your turn, there is a sound above you. A shadow falls on the circlet. As you all look up, you see a super Star Destroyer. An Executor class Star Destroyer has just jumped into the system. You feel the gravity of this thing. Over the comms, you hear Tavi. Defiance, we need those shields down now. Beskar, it is your turn.
Working on it. He's going to lift his blaster and shoot both these guys in the face. We'll take 2 actions. I'm trying to shoot them both.
Do it.
Oh my. So that's 16 with a 6 on the fancy dice for the first. And 13 for the second.
Both hit.
Baby. 8, 9, 10, 13, 16 damage for the first. 17, 20 damage for the second.
God damn. With cold, calculated precision, how do you take these guys out?
Yeah, he just says, working on it, and then just without like, they're like sitting down in chairs and like they're really not in any sort of position to stop him. And he's at point blank range. So he just basically puts the barrel of the blast rifle to the back of each of their heads and takes them out. And then immediately he's going to pull their bodies out of the way, like really just callously moving these like humans who were once people out of the way to get at the controls.
Yeah, you now sit behind the controls of this gigantic walker. You feel the power of it. As you sit at the helm, you feel the vibration of its engines beneath you as you commandeer this vehicle. There are no death troopers left, but there are some shots coming at you, Sulla, from these stormtroopers. What is your dodge?
9.
It's 1 hit.
Oof.
2 hits.
Ooh.
3 hits. Last one.
Oh no. Give me 4.
4 hits. That's 16 on that last one. Okay, let me roll damage. It's going to be a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm a Jedi, right? I can deflect all these bolts back.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you bring out your lightsaber.
This is when I reveal it.
So I'm going to tell you. Yeah. I'm going to tell you damage for each of these, and I want you to reduce it by your soak and keep track of it.
Got it.
So the first shot is going to do 9, 12, 14, 17, 21 damage.
Okay.
The second one is going to do 11, 13, 15, 18 damage.
Okay.
The third one is going to do 9, 11, 17, 19 damage.
Great.
And the last one is going to do only 13 damage.
Oh crap! I lost count. Hold up. Okay, so if I am not mistaken, then I have taken 38 points of damage. I feel like that might be wrong because but I don't think it matters.
I think unless your soak is like incredibly high, I think you're taking. You said 38.
38, yeah, because it's 7 points of damage or 7 soak.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. What is your stamina, out of curiosity?
My stamina is 2D. 2. My wound threshold. Does that mean I'm dead?
Sulla, describe how you die.
It's safe to say that Beskar has the AT-AT and is going to take out the shield generator, right, Beskar? You're friggin' focused on that. All right, dope.
I think so.
Sulla's moving forward, one pace at a time. He's shot in the leg. He starts careening over, but he pulls himself up, shoots another guy. Just as another blaster hits him in the side, he falls to one knee. He fires from one knee at two stormtroopers that are coming up to him, and they fall down off the edge of something onto the next level below, and then he pulls himself back up, and then he reaches forward and aims forward directly at the stormtrooper in front of him, blasts him, he falls. And then I'm going to say that the thing that never happens in Star Wars happens, and he runs out of ammo. I had to. He runs out of ammunition with the heavy repeating blaster, and he throws it down, pulls out his blaster rifle, but at the final moment, he's shot in the chest by like 13 stormtroopers at once, falls square down onto the surface of the circlet, and as he's dying, he's got just seconds. The last thing he does is rolls up his sleeves, showing all the rebel tattoos on his arms. He lays on his back, stares up at the sky. The last thing he sees is the AT-AT coming his way, I think.
Nexu, you see Sola go down in a hail of blaster fire. It is your turn.
Yeah, so he sees the Wookiee go down. Sees the he sees the rebel go down. I think at this point it's becoming clear that even if they destroy the shield, that they're probably not going to make it out with just the two of them. But at the same time, his mind is like still in like that Imperial mindset, so he's trying to focus on the mission at hand without getting distracted. So let's see. Is there anything that like could potentially stop the AT-AT from advancing? Like any other weaponry or anything that like could prevent it from getting over there?
You do see that second gun emplacement. A stormtrooper runs over and sort of aims the gun at the AT-AT.
Okay. And there's still like an obnoxious amount of stormtroopers left.
Yeah, and there's more sort of spilling out of the shield generator.
Okay. So I'm gonna do 2 actions, I guess. I have one more smoke grenade, so I'm going to throw a smoke grenade kind of like in the center path where they're all like coming through to kind of block their line of sight of the. I mean, the AT-AT is pretty tall, so it's not like they can't see it. But just something to, I guess, aid in that, and then I'll take a shot at the guy that's on the other turret.
Okay, go for it.
This is a throw. Right. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 to throw the smoke grenade.
Okay, yep, that's good enough.
4, 5, 6. So that's 20 to hit the guy on the other turret.
Yeah, definitely.
Damn. Alright, so 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 26.
26. Yeah, you take him out. He sort of is aiming this turret at the walker, and he just kind of goes down, crumbles to the deck.
Yeah. I guess again, still in kind of like that train mode of like, you know, once you take a shot, gets down prone, tries to prepare himself for the next shot to see what happens next.
Awesome. All right. The next 2 in the initiative are dead, so we're at the top again. Beskar, you are at the helm of the AT-AT.
Yeah, so I don't know what it's looking at the moment, but I'm going to move it as quickly as it's possible to face the deflector, shield, battery, and then just begin firing everything that I have in this thing.
Yeah, so it'll be a gunnery check to fire.
Where
And
is
it's
that?
that is under mechanical, yeah.
Okay, it's a 6 on the fancy dice, and it's a total of 12.
That hits. So it's going to be 8d damage.
Oh boy.
Mostly I'm just letting you roll this to feel rolling 8 dice.
Okay, so 10, 20, 31.
Go ahead and describe what it looks like as you aim down the sights of this walker and do like a General Veer style maximum firepower and destroy this shield generator.
Yeah, he's like looking at this setup, and I mean, it's Imperial and it all kind of looks the same. It's all gray and boring and many buttons, but he figures out pretty quickly which are the necessary ones. He just like locks the various like joysticks so that it's just going to walk forward this AT-AT no matter what happens. And then he's just going to like hammer down on this fire button and just continue to hold it down, and there's just like as it like rakes up towards the shield battery and then eventually connects. And I imagine it's like a nuclear level explosion. And Beskar sort of like stares and maybe like burns his retinas, but sort of like enjoys a successful mission.
Yeah, the blaster bolts, as they trail up towards the deflector shield, they're just like mowing down stormtroopers. The stormtroopers are kind of like charging forward, and they see the AT-AT sort of target them, and they turn around and start running in the other direction, just tearing up the plating of the circlet with these shots. And as you hit this shield generator, yeah, this like nuclear level explosion, that's just massive, so bright that it's just this white, sort of whiteout situation. And we see this explosion from a distance as the fight continues above the circlet. The Executor, which has just jumped in, trains its turbo lasers on the rebel ships. The few remaining cruisers are getting shredded. Aboard the Venator-class Star Destroyer, the Slipdagger, Colonel Tavi, sparks flying behind her. She jams into the comms. Deflector shield is down. B-Wings, make your run. This squadron of B-Wings flies in. And as they pull up, they drop these bombs, which connect with this superstructure of the Executor prototype. The bombs go off, blossoming across the surface. Unshielded, the hull breaks apart under the immense weight, and the Executor prototype splits into several dozen pieces. Nexu and Beskar, you two are alive to see this. And then over the comms, you hear Tavi. Defiance. We don't have a ride out. I'm sorry. But mission accomplished.
Save who you can. We did it.
The last thing I tell her is, you know that story about Maze? Just make sure that people know that Sola killed at least 10 times more people than he did.
Tavi says, Roger. Over and out, Defiance. You see the Venator-class Star Destroyer, the Slipdagger, disappear into hyperspace. Aboard the Executor, an Imperial officer walks across the bridge. He comes to stand before a figure. Lord Vader, the rebels are fleeing, but there are still some survivors on the circlet. Shall I call for the evacuation? Fire on the circlet. Ensure none survive. Lord Vader, there are Imperial forces down there. Without a word, Vader sweeps his cloak behind him and leaves the bridge. The Imperial officer, knowing the punishment for insubordination, nods to the gunners aboard the bridge. They train the turbo lasers on the circlet. Beskar and Nexu, you see a rain of emerald blaster fire from these turbo lasers. You feel the circlet break apart beneath you, and then you feel nothing. Aboard the Slipdagger several weeks later, Colonel Tavi sets dog tags upon an altar, one for each member of Defiance who fell. They fell defending a fledgling rebellion. But there are rumors of a new rebel base, secluded, safe, and secure on the ice planet Hoth. It is there the rebellion will reconvene, and it is there they will make their plans to deal with the remaining superstar destroyers. And that is where we will end this campaign. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This was an absolute blast. I had so much fun running this game. I'm going to toss it over to these guys to do their closings, and then we will call it. So we'll go start from my left to right. Jonathan.
Yeah, this was awesome. I have a YouTube channel called Out of Character. I go by the Faulty GM over there. If you want to check that out, that's dope. If not, this was amazing. This is actually probably my first character death, so that was a great experience as well. But yeah, kick it off to whoever wants to go next.
Lloyd, go for it, man.
Yeah, great. I love that we didn't make it out. It makes a lot of sense. I had I can't remember what you called it, like the cyanide pill ready to go, thinking like he'll go on his own terms. But it's kind of rad that everything just explodes and no one makes it out. I like that. Yeah, thanks very much. This is great. I really enjoyed this hack that you've made as well. I'll probably use it for some Jedi stuff sometime soon, I think. But yeah, thanks very much.
Awesome. Yeah, I would love that. I'm working on some lightsaber building rules as well, so that should be pretty cool. Barker, go ahead, man.
This was amazing. I've played in a lot of Star Wars games, and I've played through probably every Star Wars system, and unless I'm missing one or two or something. But I think that this was my favorite campaign in Star Wars, and there's a lot. And I think you actually ran some for me in the past too, Matt. So like, this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed, like Lloyd said, that we didn't make it out. And da 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 da. Great game, guys. That was fun.
I knew it was coming, but I still was ambushed. All right, and last but certainly not least, our Wookiee, Chalura. Luke, go ahead, man.
Yeah, this was awesome. I played the old West End game before, and I've played the D20 Star Wars, and this hyperspace hack thing is like better than those. So I can't wait to see what the finished product will be like. Yeah, my name's Luke. I have kind of my own role-playing thing that I'm working on, spectral role-playing. So I can't wait to get stuff out for that and maybe run my own hyperspace D6 games. But I would like to run for the Sith, not for the Jedi.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys. And yeah, Hyperspace D6, it's a hack I'm working on for the Western Games D6 system. The game went really well. I definitely have some adjustments I want to make. Some of the numbers were a little fiddly, but I think it's going to be pretty easy to super... God damn it. Lloyd got me again. Enough of my yak, and thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for tuning in. As always, take care, happy gaming all, and may the Force be with you.